It's another Wednesday, and fortunately, we have made it this far and looking to push forward to go even further. So let's, as always, start out with the usual question. See how everybody's been doing. Starting with you, Lynn. Are you able to hear me, Lynn?
Yeah, hold on one second.
Yeah, no problem.
Gotta make a little adjustment. There we go. How's that?
Yep, yep. We can hear you.
Damn it.
All right. So,
Better?
as I was saying, yep. We got you.
Okay.
We
I'm getting
got
good
you.
at this technology stuff.
Say that one more time.
I said I'm getting good at this technology stuff.
There you go. It's always the aim, right?
Absolutely.
So how has your week been so far?
Uh, so far so good. I've had some weather issues out in the Midwest. Just slowed down. I got some clients' assets in transit, and all this rain and flooding and whatever has been messing with the post office. Other than
Oh,
that, the what's the thing? Other than that, how was the show, Mrs. Lincoln?
yeah.
And my better half is under the weather.
Oh no.
So yeah, you
I hate
know.
that. Hopefully she gets better soon.
Yeah, she's coming out of the tunnel, I think.
Okay. Uh,
Because you start upstairs, then you make it downstairs.
yeah,
Once you make it downstairs, you kind of
yep,
you're almost there.
absolutely.
But when you stay upstairs the whole day, what you need?
Yeah,
Huh?
yep. Oh, Rick took off. Hopefully he'll be back in a second. Oh yeah, hopefully shout out to Steph. Hopefully she feels better soon.
Yeah.
That's never any fun.
Mm-mm.
Ever. So Rich.
Let's get to it.
Yeah, absolutely. So today I wanted to, so just to give a point of clarification, there was a ton of different topics I wanted us to touch on and kind of have like some lightning round type of deals. Um, but as I began to continue to read about our late nephew, uh, Nolan Wells, I kind of got caught up in between what happened when, who sang what, so on and so forth. And I figured if I'm hitting these friction points, these sticking points, I can't be the only one. Um, the timeline doesn't add up, and within the timeline, there are certain things that stick out that just absolutely don't make sense to any parts of the story. And so let me start out by saying the what we call the homegoing for Nolan Wells is going to be, I believe, the 20th of July. If
Yeah,
memory,
Monday at a stadium, I think.
yeah,
At a church.
is it at a church?
I heard it was at a stadium, but it
The
might be
funeral-
both. It might be both.
Well, the funeral was at a church, but the celebration of life,
So the stadium.
fairground or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so blessings to the family. and friends and loved ones who are are going to have to attend that type of event. It's never easy, especially when a father and a mother have to attend a funeral for their child. The thought as you have kids is that you won't be burying them; they will be burying you,
Mm-hmm.
and the normal process of life takes hold. Um, Once again, unfortunately, we're in the situation. I had a similar experience, totally different circumstances with my younger sister and my mother having to bury her daughter. You know, while we buried my older sister and I buried our youngest sister. So these things are painful. They cut. They linger. It's not an easy time for the family. And so I wanted to say that before we touch on a lot of information. Um, I hope they get the space and the grace needed to grieve properly. And I know that's going to be hard for them to get because the society in America is a right now society. We want questions right now. We don't want to wait. We're a microwave society, and if we're not getting it right now, well then something's off. Something's not making sense. In these types of processes, especially with the events that could have transpired, we have to understand and know that these things are going to take time. Uh, right now, we've got more questions than answers, and that's normal. But we've gotta allow the process to work. And there's a lot of speculation being pushed out. There's a lot of misinformation being pushed out, and I just want to make sure that we can kind of reel these things back in a little bit today, and just give a solid, definitive timeline of all events. And I'll start with today's events. One of the things that developed today is the Jackson County District Attorney met with Nolan's parents and their representation as well, Benjamin Crump, uh, to begin to talk about an active investigation. Um, the case has not been classified criminal at this time. Toxicology results are still pending in many spaces. And after the investigation is complete, the evidence is expected to be presented to a grand jury. All right. So I just want us to know where we are right now, things that have happened today. Also, cell phone examinations are going to happen also as well. So the records, all the stuff that people have been asking about, wanting to make sure that, hey, why haven't they subpoenaed phone records? Why hasn't it's happening? These things are happening.
Wait a minute. That's what they want us to believe.
Who is they? If you're going to say that's what they want us to,
I'm gonna get right to it. I'm gonna get right to it.
And let me say this. Let me say this also.
Okay.
If and I'm okay with talking and speculation and what our opinions, so on and so forth. I got no problem with that. But if you're going to use a pronoun, if you're going to identify somebody, please put a name to it if possible, or it is what it is. If it's a they, it's a they, and it can be ambiguous right now because I think that's fair.
Okay, because I put names on people.
Yeah.
I know the text that I've sent in this group text, and when I name people, I name them. And so I'm going after the Jefferson County Sheriff, John Ledbetter. You're expecting me to believe that he's saying there wasn't no foul play that he could see, but the investigation was still going. But as slow as he is moving, we're not asking for a microwave cook, but as slow as he is moving, you cannot sit here and tell me in this country, in the state of Mississippi, with its racial history, that have been 3 black boys and a blonde white girl, they would have moved this slow. I refuse to accept that because history tells me something different. And I'm not going to accept outlier situations, whether it's the Duke Lacrosse or any other outlier situation against the thousands of situations where African Americans, descendants of enslaved Africans, have suffered racial injustice. With that being said, Again, you're asking me to believe that Sheriff John Ledbetter, who's already being influenced by Judge Ashley Cole, is going to do his job correctly. I stop right there.
There's two questions that I have, and then I'll push it over to Lynn. I don't disagree with you, but the question that I have to ask you is, how do you know that he's been compromised or that he has some type of influence from the judge? And again, I don't disagree with you on that point. That's just being honest. I think that my opinion is that it seems that on the surface that there could have been some type of compromise, right? And again, pushing again, like you were saying, the historical aspects of Mississippi, right? That's more likely to have occurred than not. But do we have anything to substantiate our opinion and our claim? Because again, I don't disagree with you.
Okay. Now, well, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Lynn. Go ahead, man.
No, he said no. He said he has questions for you.
Yeah, that was
go to me. That's for you.
Oh, okay. So, how do I justify my opinion by his lack of action or being transparent in the process? That's how I justify this opinion. Because when he gave his opinion, he didn't suspect any foul play. You and I know as black men in this country, if that had been a white woman and 3 black boys, they would have been moving and grooving. And all 3 black boys' names would have been transparently publicized. End of conversation. Now, let me give respect. Hold on. Because I'm a fair shooter. When those 3 white boys, who we don't know the names to, we're guessing that it's Warren Hudson and Wyatt Pyron and Jax and maybe one more. Let's give these white boys credit. They lawyered up and shut their mouth. Now that's a good legal move. We're going to respect that. Because we always say to young black men, when they accuse you of something, keep your mouth shut, call your mama and get a lawyer and shut up. So this is what they have done. But on the same hand, on my opinion that Sheriff Ledbetter is not moving fast enough, you're expecting me to believe that this man, along with the DA, who are in contact with Judge Ashley Cole, who's already came out on July 7th and July 10th on 2 statements to defend her son, and I'm not arguing against her because her mama should protect her son, whether it's blood relative or not. Let me give respect on that. She's influencing those law enforcement down there in that county, that small hick town, and I'm going to call them hick town, of Jefferson County. But I'm not done tonight. Because when I'm going after these so-called white people in their Confederacy, with that Confederate flag, and Judge Ashley Cole, in that first post she put up, that Confederate flag, so she can paint that narrative of her opinion, then let me give my opinion right back.
Yeah, now, absolutely. And again, I don't disagree with your opinion.
I want everybody to keep watching this because I'm going after some black folks tonight too.
Because I'm just saying, again, there are things that I agree with you on. Unfortunately, it is, and I share the opinion that the sheriff was compromised, and he came out guns a-blazing saying that there was no foul play to be had when there was no investigation that was done into that. So it was a preemptive strike, if you ask me, to begin to paint the narrative. But that's my opinion. So Lynn, pushing what's happening, Deuce, but pushing to the 4th of July, 2026, the boat trip.
Right.
Is there anything that stands out directly to you for or against what the narrative so far has been pushed?
You know, what I find unfortunate about this whole thing is that this is the go-to. Like my process is, if all options are out on the table, I'm considering all options. For instance, you know, when people say, ain't no way a teenager is going to leave his phone, stop it. Parents are at the Verizon store and the AT&T store and the T-Mobile store on a regular basis because guess what?
They lost their phone.
Their kid lost their phone. So stop.
Right.
And I even went, you know what I did? I went to Uber. You know what number Uber got at? It's a 7-figure number of teenagers leaving their phones in their vehicles.
Oh, wow.
So now, why is it? And when I take this position, it's not always comfortable for me, but I've said this on here before. I take pride in the fact that I can argue both sides of anything, because I don't feel if you can only argue one side of something, then your argument can be compromised because you're not considering all the facts. And all I ever ask myself is it possible? And as far as going to Richard about lawyering up, and I've touched on this before, but when I was accused falsely of stealing $3.5 million from Citigroup, you know what I didn't do?
What's that?
I didn't lawyer up. You know why? Because I didn't do it.
Okay.
I didn't do it. And you know what lesson I learned from that process? When I'm sitting across from the Secret Service and the Postal Service and the U.S. Attorney. And at that point, I got my $400 an hour lawyer sitting beside me. And he told me how lucky I was I didn't get indicted. And I kept saying, but I didn't do anything. He said, it don't matter. And he was correct. So if I ask myself, is it possible that a young 18-year-old boy decides he's going to hang back on the island with a shorty? That's very possible. If you're going to say, yo, y'all go back, I'm going to catch the next boat. Not I'm going to stay out here all night by myself. I'm going to catch the next boat. All possible. So what I hate about this story is it demonstrates a lack of progress. When the go-to is race, premeditation, murder, and cover-up, when this very well may have been just a tragic accident. Is it possible? Because if it's possible, keep that scenario in play. Because we already know we're going to investigate. What are we investigating? We investigating the negative shit, right? Pardon my French. We investigating the negative angles, right?
In some cases, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, in this case, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I don't want to sound like Ledbetter's attorney, but if I'm the sheriff and you put a microphone in my face hours after you find the body, and somebody tells him looks like a drowning, it's him saying, I don't see any evidence of foul play right now, today, on July 7th or 6th or 7th, whenever he said it. Once again,
said it,
I believe he said it on the 6th.
July 6th.
July 6th.
The body was found at 8:57 in the morning.
Yeah.
So his July 6th take, to me, is like, okay. Now, does Ledbetter have the phone?
No.
When was the phone found?
When Tashima went over there and got that phone.
Last week.
Well, no. Wait a minute. Give the exact date. I
don't need the exact date.
No,
last week.
Need the exact date because
I didn't ask for it. I'm talking now.
And I'll go through. Yeah, because I'll go through a full timeline of all the.
You can do that, but I'm just giving you the 30,000 foot view. Last week. Does he have the phone today? He does not. But people are calling for subpoena the phones of the other people and going through phone records. And that's not the process. What needs to be processed first is his phone.
Yes.
Mom and auntie have jumped to conclusions about a lack of information that they found. They could be correct. They could be wrong. This phone could have updated. There are a million things that could have happened. And I'll ask everybody, maybe later, but maybe process this. Do you want this to be an accident, or do you want this to be foul play?
Well, let's.
What Black America is asking for is the truth to come out. That's what Black America is asking for. If
I understand that, but what the truth is going to be: tragic accident,
right,
or foul play.
Well, so hold on, wait a minute.
Hold on. No, wait. I got you, Rich. Hold on.
Once again, listen, Mr. Brown, I'm not asking you nothing.
I'm not asking you a question. Hold on. Hold on. Time out. Hold on. I got you, Rich. I got you. We'll come back to it. Wait.
Mr. Brown,
give me a second, gentlemen. Give me a second, fellas, because now I'm talking. So give me a second, because we'll come back, because that was one of the questions that I did want to ask, and I'll start that question with Deuce, because that was something that was actually put on that I talked about on Instagram, and the question is, would we prefer, and this, I hate to say it this way, would it feel more of a relief for it to be an accident, or would it be, or are you leaning towards it being foul play? I don't even want to call it a murder just yet, because murders come with actual charges, but foul play is a better phrasing for it.
Am I done?
I'll get to you again in a second, Lynn. Give me a second.
Done.
Yeah, I got you. And I pause you right there, because I'm gonna jump back to you after Deuce asks this question.
It's okay. It's your show.
Yeah, I would say, which one is a better outcome? Foul play or just accidental death? Is that the question?
Yeah.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
I'm frozen. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Which one's better? Better for who? We're talking about black and white. I think black wants foul play and justice. I think Mississippi wants it to be accidental. But people maybe pick one or the other overall for America. And they wanted to be accidental, man. They wanted to be accidental. That'll be the answer to that question. Because foul play, just off the top of my head, who? You got to pin the tail on the donkey. Foul play equals who? And that is a whole nother can of worms you got to uncover. So accidental is the best play for America. Not for me, but for America.
Okay. And so I'll swing that question up to Rich and then back to you, Lynn, that way, because I want you to continue with what you were saying. But I wanted to pause right there, because I think that is a very important question that has to be examined a little more. And we should have our ability to answer that specific question, because that's a great question. Foul play or an actual accident? Not so much a better outcome, but which one is...
I reject the question altogether.
Okay.
I, as an African American, want the truth to come out. And if the truth says he drowned, okay. If the truth said he got beat up and then pushed in the water and he drowned, okay. If the truth says he came back, he was at that pool party at Evans' house, and that was actually debunked, that was a July 4th pool party, and he got hit upside his head with a metal pole, and then they had to cover up that body, then let that come out. Because if he drowned on that island, that's a federal case for the FBI. If he drowned back on inland, that's a state case for Jefferson County. So I want the truth to come out. I don't want neither one of these outcomes. All I want is the truth to come out. So and if the truth is based on some racism, okay. If it was based on some jealousy, okay. If the jealousy was based off of racism, okay.
Okay, so I get what you're saying. But even with the truth coming out, there's also a sense of not so much which is better for America, but if like you were saying, essentially the truth is going to be the truth, and some people just want the story, some people are looking for a narrative, and some people hope that would prefer it to be an accident, right? So in all three cases, at the end of it, right, the truth being the truth, all things being equal, and this will be my quick take on it. I hope that it's an accident and not a malicious act. That's what I hope. All right, back to you, Lynn. If you want to jump in that question also, and then continue on where you were going.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Yeah, because the reason why I asked the question that way is because it feels like if the authorities come back and say it was just a tragic accident, that truth will not be accepted by all. And I was just thinking of something, you know, when my daughter went on her prom, a good friend of hers died that night. He was a basketball player. He was a senior. My daughter has his basketball number tattooed on her wrist to this day. And I remember he died he fell asleep at the wheel. But because it was prom night and he was a teenager, everybody rushed to that he was driving drunk. And I remember I went on to, I think it was a Houston Chronicle website, and I wrote this page-long diatribe because my daughter was hurting. My daughter was in pain. And this was such a cool send-off for the prom because my friend, Jawan Howard, was at my house because his wife did my daughter's makeup. So me and Jawan double-teamed my daughter's prom date because he was a basketball player, but we was both taller than him. So we were having fun. We were having fun that night, and then that early morning tragedy. Sorry. And my point is, I was heartbroken because everybody just rushed to the negative conclusion when what I found out is he had been taking care of everybody all night, dropping people off, picking people up. He was like a taxi service that night, and then was driving himself to the after party beach house in Galveston and fell asleep and had an accident and died. And all I'm ever trying to bring to a discussion like this is leave all of the possibilities out on the table instead of rushing to a negative conclusion without all the facts. Because that's how we always get in trouble. And then that'll come back to bite us. And I could name numerous examples. I won't consume the discussion with them. But I am remembering, y'all remember the woman who saw the baby on the side of the road and pulled over to rescue the baby? And then you know what? And at the time,
we don't got to take it to Alabama. Stick with Mississippi. Stick with Mississippi. Why you coming to Alabama?
No, here's my point.
Why you coming to Alabama?
No, because it wasn't about Alabama. It was about this. It was about when black women go missing, we don't care. So when that happened, the whole country swung to, we care about this black girl missing, right?
Yes.
And was she missing?
No.
No.
She made the whole damn thing up. And to this day, nobody knows exactly why she made that choice. But does that kind of stuff hurt us? Because when it's black, it's all of us. When it's white, it's individual. It's Becky did that dumb shit.
Yeah.
But when it's our side, it's all of us, the whole gang. When OJ was up, I was OJ. You know, I remember when I was working downtown Philly, there was a center city rapist. Guess what he was? 6 feet tall and light skinned.
Damn.
Guess who fit the profile?
You did.
So, you know, I'm open to all possibilities. I'm open to foul play. I'm open to tragic accident. But I can't fall down on either one of those sides until the authorities have the phone, right? And one of the autopsies comes back with a result. The Mississippi one hasn't even come back. Toxicology hasn't come back. So that's all I'm ever asking anybody to do is why not sit back and wait for the facts to come in. And then that way you can make the best decision possible. Because at the end of the day, I'm looking at these 4 boxes. All 4 of us are going to believe what we want to believe. No matter what the facts or the truth ends up being. Because I've heard, I still don't believe it. And it's the truth. It's what the facts say. It's whatever. And people still gonna say, no, I don't believe it.
But my question is this. Nobody on this panel has said if they knew for sure if it was an accidental drowning or if it was pretended murder. Nobody has ever said for sure what we thought the outcome was. We're waiting for the evidence to come in. So maybe your conversation is meant for somebody on Facebook or on Instagram who think that it's absolutely murder. We may say it looks like murder. The way the situation lines up, it looks like murder or foul play. Something's not right. But no one on this panel has said for sure, we know that he was murdered before all the evidence has come in.
What I said was everybody on this panel is going to believe what they want to believe.
Right. But initially you were talking about how people are jumping to conclusions, talking about Black America.
Are people jumping to conclusions?
Hold on a second.
Are people jumping to conclusions?
Here, I answer your question. Some Black folks.
It's a yes.
Some Black folks have jumped to conclusions, just like some white folks have jumped to conclusions.
That's what I said.
Okay.
And I said people. I didn't say Black people. I didn't say white people. I said people.
Okay. So let me say this real quick, because I can say something 15 to 20 seconds. I can sit back and listen to someone talk for 2 or 3 minutes. The autopsy, Jefferson County, conducted July 7th. That thing is done. The toxicology report hasn't come back.
What are the results of the autopsy?
The autopsy for Jefferson County is done. It started July 7th.
What are the results?
They haven't released the results. The toxicology.
They gotta wait for the DC one.
Hold on, wait a minute.
They gotta wait for the DC one, I believe.
Wait a minute. This is legal strategy. Mississippi, Jefferson County doesn't want to release their toxicology report until the one comes back from DC. The one in DC is done.
Yeah.
And why isn't Trump saying that? Oh, I don't know. I'm not.
I'll double check, but I thought he said it'd be released.
DC is done.
Friday.
No, that one's done. He just ain't telling you. So
DC is done.
These 2 reports. Listen to this. When these 2 reports come back, and then the toxicology report also comes from DC and a separate one from Jefferson County. First, when Lynn says, are you going to really trust Jefferson County's autopsy? Well, if that's the same Stacey Turner that did the autopsy for the quote Black man down near Mississippi that quote allegedly hung himself, I probably won't. I'll admit that. I said probably. Okay? Now the one from DC comes and it says something totally different from the one in Jefferson County, hypothetically. So then you say, well, how could you justify what would Lynn and Richard come to an agreement on to make this right? Well, then the family in Jefferson County Sheriff's Office and the DA would have to say, well, can we get a third party, a third autopsy? Could they agree to do a third autopsy? And the reason why I say that is that phone investigation on the analysis of that phone should have been done a long time ago. So when Christine got it and you had Benjamin Crump July 7th, he should have had his people downloading that phone and copying that phone like that. Because this morning he says, oh, I'm going off my 30 seconds. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, we were listening to you. But okay, I'll push forward. Let me recap where we are right now. Afternoon, the evening of July 4th, the friends reported last seeing Nolan during the afternoon. One account places the final sighting around 3 p.m. The boat carrying some of the friends reportedly left around 4:30 p.m. after mechanical problems, right? And therein is the first discrepancy, right? The 3 p.m. and 4:30 p.m. departing or not departing the island. Right. There's no conclusive evidence that he stayed or left at this point. This is still July 4th.
Mm-hmm. Wait. Can you also add that when Wyatt said he asked him to get on the boat at 3 and leave with them, that Katie McCormick said that Nolan told Katie, my boat's right here. He says, I got to leave because they're getting ready to take off. And Katie says she saw him walk away from her boat to his boat. Can you include that?
You just did. It's included. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. At the end of the day, right, we know that Nolan was not, Nolan was not on a boat, right? That's what's been reported so far. So the night of July 4th, during the night of July 4th, this is the period that is one of the biggest parts of the whole timeline that's in question, because investigators are still trying to answer where Nolan went after being left behind, if he was left behind, who he spent the evening with, whether he attempted to contact anyone, what happened to his cell phone, which is a huge issue, and whether videos circulating online depict Nolan. And so the reason why I say that is because there is a picture online, and I meant to find it before I got on, but I got caught up doing stuff for college, trying to get myself registered, so on and so forth. Another story for another time. But I wanted to put a picture up that was going around. Say again?
Pool picture?
Yeah, the pool picture with him in the background.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yep, but so I don't have an Apple desktop, so I don't have access to it right now. I'd have to send it to myself.
But I think I sent it to you group text. I think I sent
y'all sent them, but I didn't push them to myself so that I could add them to our stream. Unfortunately, that's on me. But there's a picture of a pool party along with a message from another person who may not have actually been in attendance of the party. That's not a We'll come to that later. But at the party, he's said to have been seen there. If that party actually happened the evening or the night of July 4th, well, then that puts everything that happened prior to that into question.
Yeah, being left behind on the boat is now out the window, isn't it?
Yeah.
It would be totally out the window. It would be totally out the window.
So let me say this. Let me say this to Lynn. When that pool party came out, that picture came out, and Ben Crump, reposted it. Mm-hmm. Some people said, as a lawyer, you shouldn't have done that. Here's my question, because I'm thinking about it all day, all night. When that came out over the weekend, I think it was Friday night or Saturday.
That's good. Saturday, I think.
Saturday? Okay.
Yeah.
It was up all day Sunday. So I said, whoever is with those three friends and Judge Ashley Cole, if that picture is true, they have got to destroy it, because if you don't, now we know there's murder. You have to destroy the credibility of that picture. So when they said that picture was from June 27th, we all know that when people go out, especially young people, and they take pictures, that thing's not going up 4 or 5 days later. So when I heard Lynn gave his reasonable argument about people losing their cell phones, especially teenagers, see, I can't argue against that reasonable statement. Except
I can when you just saying that.
Okay. So unless I'm trying to holler at a woman and I need my phone to get that number. All right. But back to that pool party. You have to destroy it. Now, some people on Facebook have said it was June 27th. Those are the ones who are defending the three friends. Other people are saying they saw the date stamp. It said July 4th. But nobody can show you absolutely.
No, it would have been the 5th because it was early morning.
But some people said
it was early morning.
No.
Some July 5th.
Wait a minute. Some people are disputing that
It's 1
time.
a.m.
So yeah, they're saying it was 1 a.m., but nobody's quite for sure if it's July 4th or July 5th, because other people are saying it was from June 27th, but the guy with the USA cut out his chest hair. But here's the thing with this: if that party actually happened at Evan's house, his mother is in trouble. If all those people in the front, they should have been investigated. So when Sheriff Ledbetter is saying we're making phone calls, we're doing this, and we're doing that, and when we look at the history of Mississippi, when it comes to black people getting justice, I don't know if any black person has ever got justice in Mississippi, but I could be wrong. There could be 1 out of 1,000. Okay. So when people are saying, hey, let's not be so quick to judge, if the shoe was on the other foot. I agree with that argument, Lynn. But unfortunately, if that had been, like I said, a white girl and 3 black boys, some 3 black boys are already locked up. And I mean, and they're giving out statements, that's already done. So we don't see that justice being presented to both sides equally. One side gets justice, the other people like us, we catch a cold, we catch a disease. And that's why some black people get so emotional. Now, I'm going to admit this right now. Am I still affected by the Rick child? I am.
Let me pause you. Let me pause you right there, because I don't want to swing back too far. I want to stay right here at the timeline. And I know Deuce had something to say also, and I don't want him to forget where he is, his placeholding, because I want to push forward to the July 5, 6, and 7 after Deuce says this.
So, all right, to Lynn's point, great points about missing cell phones. I think kids, young adults, Nolan's age, live in a world where your cell phone is essential, right? One, the mom said Snapchat information was deleted. I've watched my cousins. They use that Snapchat camera more than the native camera in your phone. I don't understand why. I just noticed it several times because the filters are better, etc. She said she noticed that was deleted. 2, payment systems, social media, and if he's talking to a girl, if we're going off what his friend said, he never seen that girl before, never met her before. So I'm assuming he's trying to go to holler. That's the vibe that the friend gave, kind of alluded to. And to Richard's point, if you're gonna go holler at a girl, or maybe James, you said, I'm not sure, you got to capture that information or something. We're not writing it down on a napkin. We're not taking a mark out of our pants and putting it on our forearm, right? And a lot of kids nowadays exchange social media information. You got to get it somehow.
Deuce, some dudes move different. You know how I move? I'm going to get it later.
See,
because and this is from my business world.
It's a different mindset, though.
I know.
It's a different mindset,
and that's why it's easy for me to leave that as a possibility. Like if my confidence with this Katie McCormick is on 10, I don't need my friends and I don't need my phone. I'm gonna do what I do.
Because it's gonna be there one way or another.
So, and I know I'm not a unicorn, so it's possible. Because if we go with the swimming pool party situation, now he's killed. Obviously, after that picture's taken, somebody jumps on a boat and takes him back out to Horn Island and leaves him on the northwest tip to be found Monday morning. Now we getting out of the range of Occam's razor. We all know what that is, right?
Yeah.
So for me, the pool party logically does not fit. For me, for others, that may be different. For me, the pool party has a child, right? Has a child, has a teenager, taking a picture. Because all right, let me take this poll. How many of us have an 18-year-old son right now going to college in the fall? Raise your hand. 18. That's me. And my son, you can because look,
I see what you did there.
We're talking about an 18-year-old.
I see how you eliminated everybody else. Okay.
18. That's right. But my point is,
6, 7.
My son is in a relationship with a junior.
Mm-hmm.
He took a picture of her last week. He posted it on Monday in his story.
Okay.
Now, I will say to your point.
Some background. All I'm saying is, you're hurting.
That. They say take a picture now, post it later.
Right.
That's the
you
common
hurt
logic.
People when you make these absolutes. No teenager does this. Nobody takes a picture and doesn't post. You hurt yourself, in my opinion, when you come out with these absolutes. When you know there are rules and there are exceptions, and I'll go with that rule. I'll go with the rule that teenagers go without their phones. No, teenagers.
I'm not saying it's a rule.
I'll roll with the rule,
I'm not saying it's a rule.
Always consider the exception. That's all.
I'm
And
not
I
going
feel
with
like
that
a lot of
rule.
people
That's
don't do
not.
that.
Let me restate it. I'm not saying that. Let me restate it. There's possible and there's probable, right? More than likely, a teenager would take their phone with them to secure the
Correct.
network.
Correct. I
Now,
agree.
the exception exists. Now, and the other question I have, you left your phone and your keys?
Well, no, the keys were on land.
They
Hey,
went
Keys
on
were
his
on the
body.
boat.
wait a minute. Lynn.
Yeah.
They went out on
Lynn,
his body.
hold on a second. Wait a minute, because that's a key point.
What?
Elmore on July 5th went to a friend's house and got the keys. Eventually, after waiting 15, 20 minutes, he got the keys. But we don't know for sure when the boy, Nolan, Xavier
Where was
Wells,
the car? Richard, where was the car?
at the friend on the lot, on his
In the
yard.
same place.
Right, well, hold on. But we don't know for sure, Lynn, that when he got on the boat with his phone, if he took his keys, you would think he wouldn't take his keys and leave his keys at the friend's house. You would think that, but we don't know that for sure.
You remember where the keys were found, according to the dad?
Top of the Xbox.
The
On the Xbox.
Xbox.
Yeah, on top of the Xbox, yeah.
Right.
So
Mhm.
you know, when you say, "Hey, Richard this or Richard that," when you really narrow me down and get to the names and the dates and the times that we can say factually are correct, well then I will follow that course. But when we follow that course and we start making a reasonable argument, you know, to me, the first hurdle we have to overcome is, do we trust Jefferson County in the state of Mississippi? If we were in Sacramento, California, Los Angeles County, hell, maybe even in Philly, then the process, we'd have to really say, okay, wait a minute. But black folks here down,
Philly would actually be worse.
okay, all right, so I won't say Philly, and I definitely ain't saying St. Louis. So, here down in the state of Mississippi, black people across the country, look, before even Nolan Wells came up, real quick, before this even came up, we were laughing last year about what states we didn't want to drive through. And I said Louisiana and Mississippi.
Mhm.
I stopped there. That's it. I stopped.
All right. So let me also say that the concluding July 4th, the events of July 4th, the authorities have requested anyone with original photos or videos from the island that day to come forward. So if you were at Horn Island, I also need to say this very important fact about Horn Island, because there was a misconception that I had that I was wrong about. I'm sure Deuce will be back in a second. My thought was Horn Island was like other state or federal parks, and you had to be out at a certain time. You can go in at a certain time. You have to leave at a certain time as well. Well, at Horn Island, it's 24/7, 365, right? There's no closing time, and there's also no phone reception, no running water. So it's wilderness on Horn Island, right? Now that doesn't mean that people won't have phones or phones can be left or so on and so forth. But what it does do is it does give a possibility that, hey man, go ahead and take my phone because I can't use it out here no way. Could have existed.
Quick question.
Yeah.
The United Cajun Navy, Brian Thrasher said that the park rangers go around at nighttime to make sure the island is vacated. So
Yeah.
I don't know. So you're saying there's 24/7, but we now know it's federal land. That everybody knows that now. But Brian Thrasher of United Cajun Navy said that the park rangers go around that park at night to make sure everybody's gone. But if two families spend the night there, then that justifies what you're saying. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So that's why they would have been there, because that land never closes. All right. So pushing on to July 5th, 6th, and 7th. July 5th, the search efforts continued for Nolan, and he was also reported missing. Local, state, and federal resources participated in the search. I'm not satisfied with the response that the Coast Guard gave, but who am I? I don't have to be. They gave what they had logged, right? Then that's that. July 6th, Nolan bodies is discovered in the water near the northwest portion of Horn Island. Dental records confirmed his identity. An autopsy was performed by the Mississippi State Medical Examiner. Officials stated no official cause of death had yet been determined, right? So from the 4th through the 6th, that's when that's where we at. By the 6th of July, Sheriff Ledbetter had come out and began to make statements that didn't sit well for a lot of people. Now, for July 7th, and this is where things begin to pick up just a little bit, right? July 7th, the investigators requested photos again, videos, eyewitness statements, information about unusual activity on Horn Island. The Jackson County Sheriffs emphasized that every piece of evidence could be important, right? But that was also the last time the family had contact with the Jackson County Sheriff's Department.
Question.
Yes.
Not you left out, but do you think it's a critical piece of information that Attorney Crump entered the chat on the 7th of July?
For social?
I don't think I know about this if he doesn't enter the chat.
Well, that's what I was about to say. For social, for media, and for highlighting purposes, absolutely. Absolutely. Because you're right. I think you're right. And I don't have the best opinion of Benjamin Crump. Not personally, but some things he does professionally. But yes, if he didn't enter the chat at this point, we wouldn't know about it. It'd be swept under the Mississippi rug. And just like the little brother that I sent you, I don't know if y'all saw the article about a similar incident that happened in Texas. A young black boy with two, well, I know for sure one white friend and another colleague.
Been arrested. Yeah.
Yes, that absolutely. And enter the chat Benjamin Crump to push justice, or at least find out what happened. Let me rephrase that. I don't want to say push justice, but to find out what happened in those circumstances.
So his presence elevates the case.
Yeah.
Which can be good and can be bad. Because I think I know Richard posted something from somebody who made a Facebook post that basically said that when Crump swings and misses, he doesn't own it. He just keeps pushing. Yeah. And that can be problematic because when, and Richard, the reason why I brought up the Duke Lacrosse situation is because that's something that I've heard from them when we cry foul.
Correct. That's correct. Yeah.
That's why I brought it up.
Yeah.
And even when that was happening, I was waiting because as a Cowboys fan,
oh no,
I have been the victim of a woman lying on Eric Williams and Michael Irvin. Look, playoff weekend. Look, Jay, playoff weekend. I'm victimized.
Hey, wait a minute.
I might have another piece of jewelry right now.
Hey, wait a minute.
For a woman.
Hey, wait a minute. I gotta say this, and I don't want to get off subject.
Yeah.
When that situation happened with the Dallas Cowboys where they tried to scream rape, and Eric or whoever it was,
Eric Williams,
saying I voluntarily do this on video.
Yep.
Yeah.
I stopped there.
Eric Williams is from Philly, John Bartram High School.
Okay.
He's from Philly, so he had it documented. But the damage was done.
Yeah.
The damage was done.
And one quick thing about that post that I responded to. I think white America as a whole have a point that when we jump the gun on something and we're wrong, we have to go back and apologize. I think that's accountability.
We don't.
Oh, okay. So,
we don't.
No, I hear you. Well, but hold on a second.
No, we do. Please educate me because I never see us do it.
Me personally, other black folks, because I know I don't agree with black folks a lot of times on black issues. But if we're wrong on something, to me, regardless of your color, you should acknowledge it. Now, the way he wrote that out, he took his time. I wrote mine back in 15 to 20 minutes off emotion. He laid it out. But I wanted to respond back because I didn't trust his sincerity. So when you come to me and tell me that I'm wrong, God, I think about your mom so much. When you tell me with sincerity, then I gotta fall back. But when you come to me telling the truth, but you ain't really sincere about it because you have a hidden agenda, now I'm coming back for you twice as strong. And that's why I wrote that long post. I stopped there.
Got you. Now that post I did read. I took my time to actually read that one. I did. So so quick, just to throw in a quick correction. July 8th is the day. So they retained him on the 7th. Benjamin Crump announced that he publicly announced that they had retained him on July 8th. And
no, July 7th.
They no, we'll go back and look at that.
Yeah,
I could be off by a day. Okay, we'll go with the 7th. We'll go with the 7th. Two against one. I can concede.
listen. You know, see, let me say this because, and I rarely speak to the audience, but I will speak to the audience. But audience, Mr. Medeiros is known in those streets as a know-it-all, and I have to fight that know-it-all situation because I'm that's really not my agenda at all. I learn when I'm wrong. That's the only time I learn something. But the way I end up being a know-it-all is when I don't know something, I'm silent. So when people hear me talking, it's only when I know it, when I know the subject matter. So when they only hear you talking when you know,
good point.
He's a know-it-all. And, you know, I fought it more than half my life. I just live with it because I'm going to keep spewing knowledge until the day they put me 6 feet under. But I'm never trying to be the smartest guy in the room because that ain't no fun. If I'm the smartest guy in the room, guess what I need? A new room. Because I ain't learning nothing. Now, I know there are people out there that need to be the smartest guy in the room. And I can spot them a mile away. And I let them run because I might learn something from them. But I'm not that guy. But know-it-all gets thrust upon me all the time. And what I always tell them is, I'm not trying to be right. I'm trying to get it right. And here's how far I go with it. Like, if I gave you bad information, I will reach out to you and tell you I gave you bad information because I don't want you to carry that bad information out into the streets.
Yeah.
That's how far I go with it. Like, oh man, I said it wrong, or I did it wrong, or I had it wrong. And I will correct myself and correct myself to anybody that I gave that bad information to. Because I don't want, and I'm not worried about Lynn said that I'm not even worried about that part of it. I'm worried about the part where you go out there with the wrong information. Because I live in an information business. So bad information is bad for business. I yield back my time.
Point taken.
Well,
wait.
Wait.
No, I'm saying go ahead.
So I know we want to stay with the timeline. So I guess we'll get to this later when Mr. Medeiros, this is where I'm going to fall back for a second. If Christine and Elmore Wansley had a life insurance policy,
no.
Now Mr. Medeiros is going to zero down and lay the law. If he knows the law from Mississippi on how they pay out their life insurance policies, or however it is, he's going to lay the law about how they're going to get paid. And if that insurance company is going to do its own independent investigation and maybe its own independent autopsy.
Well, here, let me just real quick. No investigation if the policy's 2 years or more. No investigation. Inside of 2 years, thorough investigation.
That's right. I remember you telling me that.
Outside of 2 years, they just need a death certificate and they're paying the money. So
even if the child or the person committed suicide, they'll still get paid?
Yep.
It's called the contestability clause.
Okay.
And the contestability period is 2 years. So, I'm always ready to throw the TV when they're on Law and Order or whatever and saying, oh, he committed suicide, so the insurance company's not going to pay out. I'm like, how old's the policy? What? Does Dick Wolf need me on staff?
He just might.
He has some insurance fraud situations. Dick Wolf might need me. But 2 years is if it's under 2 years, full investigation. Out of 2 years, no investigation. Just give us the death certificate. We're paying the claim. That's in all states.
So that July 5th, to me, is a really important day. Because Tashima had to go get that. God, where is he at when we need him?
Who?
Deuce. Christine said it's pinging, and they had a conversation. Christina said, "I want you to go to the 360 location," but somehow Tashima said, "No, I'm going to the Snapchat location because that's the most current." Now I don't look. Just like Lynn says, he ain't good on technology. I know I ain't good on no technology, so I can't figure it out. The young people have to tell me, or IT person has to tell me how that works. But she goes to this house. I want to make sure I get it right. I'm pretty sure it was. I'll make sure I get it right. And gets the phone. And then Elmore had to go to the other address
to get the keys.
Right. And then when they give the keys, it's almost like a woman both times had to say something, because the woman had to tell. God, I want to say it's Wyatt. Let me verify this.
But he might not have known where they were.
Wait a minute. For the phone, I believe it was Wyatt, because the girl at the house said, "Wyatt, it's in your truck." But another girl at the other house told Elmore to tell whoever he was talking to, it's upstairs on the Xbox.
No, that's the keys. The keys are upstairs on the Xbox.
Keys are on the Xbox.
I'm sorry, the keys. The phone was in Wyatt's truck.
Now, hold on, Richard. While you rolling, let me throw this little fun fact into the game. What if the phone had died?
Then they plugged it back. Yeah.
Now, are you gonna, if the phone is dead, are you gonna let them take it back to shore and charge it for you? Or are you gonna have a dead phone with Katie McCormick?
Now
that you can't charge on Horn Island, to my knowledge.
Hold on. So I wanted to verify this, because this is really critical. Wyatt had Nolan's cell phone in his truck. I wrote this out. It took 15 minutes before a girl at this address got the phone from Wyatt's truck before he turned it into Tashima, Christina's friend, who retrieved it on July 5th after Tashima tracked it to Wyatt's address using Snapchat. Christine, used 360 that showed Nolan's phone somewhere else. So all this pinging on the island, on the land, after 3 p.m. on July 4th. This is why I'm so upset. Because people think I'm upset with Lynn. No, not really. See, Mr. Crump, I should be supporting you. I've already said I have a problem with light-skinned black people, and you dark as me. I should be supporting you. I find myself in a situation where I don't know if I can support you or not. The minute you got that phone, you should have had your people download everything on that phone.
Hold on. The phone is evidence.
Yes, you're correct.
So he can't take those steps with evidence.
So that could be tampering with evidence. But
right.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Let me go back to what you said. When Sheriff Ledbetter said initially, you don't expect no foul play. He kind of gave the impression that, we have a pending investigation. Did you call these people?
No, but I believe he said, to be fair, Richard, to this point.
Correct. I wrote down what
we haven't seen any evidence of foul play.
You are absolutely correct. You're right. I went back and I looked again.
And that's if I'm Sheriff Ledbetter, that's what I'm saying.
But listen,
I'm saying those exact words. I haven't seen any evidence to say,
but you haven't seen any evidence to not say about foul play. So
right. But to say that a different way is the investigation is ongoing.
Okay,
Yeah.
then that's what he should have said. He should have never said that
He did
first
say
part.
that. He
Wait a
did
minute.
say that.
He
It's
said
an ongoing investigation.
right, but he initially said that it was both. There's a compound sentence. We have to get technical with it. Okay, I guess we're lawyers now. So he said we don't see any evidence of foul play. And then he protected himself by saying, "But it's a pending investigation." But when you lead with your sentence, I thought when you lead with your sentence, you lead with the knock. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. All I'm saying is the general impression was people felt like, oh, they're not really going to do anything. And then they say quiet. So this phone, when you said this could be tampering with evidence, I'm like, they never acted like the phone was part of the evidence, because as soon as Tashima got the phone and took it back to Christine and Elmore, Lonsley, and they're telling you this through social media, through Trump, the sheriff's department should have been, bring that phone to us right now. That
Right.
never
Now, so Richard, hold out for once again process.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if this is an accidental drowning, I don't need the phone. And another thing that's missing with Ledbetter's initial response is, what was the question and what was the intent of the question? For instance, Sheriff Ledbetter, do you believe that there was foul play in this situation? And he says, so far, haven't seen any evidence of foul play. So we have his answer, but we don't have the question.
Sure.
But and this is why I love this platform, and I love you, brothers, because, and it's all the Geminis right now, the June Gemini. Right? You fuse together because we, as intelligent men, black men in America, know that we have to be thorough and gather as many gatherable facts as possible before we really choose a hill to die on.
Yeah.
Okay. No, then,
And that's what I'm talking about with process.
wait a minute. No, then when you say that, when you articulate it the way you just did, I think of Barack Obama. I think of Johnny Cochran. No, and I'm not trying to be negative.
Oh, you left out Colin Powell. You left out Colin Powell.
Oh my
that too.
Yes, absolutely right.
He's awesome.
Okay.
And you know I got a fix for Colin, right?
Okay. No, that's fine.
I'm
So,
kidding.
when I'm saying that is the way you articulate that. And it doesn't sound bougie. It doesn't sound too highly dignified. It doesn't sound like you're talking down to me or down to anybody in the audience. You sound like Barack Obama, the way he did his immigration control. Okay. All right. So I have to accept that. That's reasonable. All right. Is it unreasonable for me to ask Benjamin Crump to articulate in a much better fashion after all these years and the money he's made? Is it
listen, he don't have the skills, and you know it. If he could articulate better, I believe he would. And look, I cringe when the brother hits the mic, because I already know what's about to happen.
Listen.
Stephanie said he likes Shannon Sharp.
Wait a minute. Hey, wait a minute. Shannon Sharp, hold on. I'm going to defend Shannon Sharp because he has worked his ass off.
Yeah, but did you see him on CBS? Yes. All right, so we don't have to go no further.
And listen, there are English words that I cannot, as my friend told me this morning, pronounce. Now pronunciate, Mr. Brown. Pronounce. Okay, I got it. Damn it, I got it.
Listen, Magic Johnson, Emmett Smith had to go. Because you can't be fumbling those words on live television when people, first of all, you're interfering with people watching the game.
Right.
When you're messing up the words. If you can't say the words right, be quiet and let people watch the action.
Well, this is why I'm so upset with Benjamin Crump.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're from the deep South. You got a deep Southern accent. Okay, fine. You did not, Jesus. When you got brought on, I saw other black attorneys way more articulate, backing you up, trying to defend you, saying he has asked for an independent autopsy. Great first move. I said, okay, fine. But that second great move, you should have had that phone. Oh my God. So So you said, well, Richard, legally that could be tampering. I would have taken that chance on downloading that freaking phone because I believe.
And listen, inarticulate he may be, but the man is smart.
Absolutely.
Okay. And he knows the law.
Okay, no.
I will never question him on his law acumen. Well, he just don't articulate it
the way he practices
possible way. But the brother knows the law, and I believe he knows that if he does anything with that phone,
hold on a second.
He puts it all in jeopardy.
Wait a minute.
It's a Fannie Mae issue.
You have different levels of law expertise, okay? Now, I don't want to sound biased towards a certain ethnic group when it comes to lawyering.
Don't say it. I know where you're going. Don't say it.
No, I'm not.
Don't say it. No,
hold on a second. Trust and believe. If they had showed up, that phone would have been downloaded, but they would have plausible deniability. And I'm gonna leave it there.
All right. So let me go ahead. No, go ahead.
Said today on his press conference, we will work jointly with the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office, and I think along the district attorney, to investigate the phone together.
I told her she wasn't feeling well.
Got you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Why don't I not trust that?
Well,
I not trust that?
But see, Rich, what the thing that I appreciate about what you're inserting into the conversation, as well as Lynn, in a different facet, is, and I've said it before, but we should have a certain amount of healthy skepticism towards processes in and of themselves on the surface. And so when you say, why don't I trust them? I think that's a very fair question that you're asking yourself about what's going on right now. And everybody should be asking that to push further into challenging the onset of what we think is happening. Because I think you have you're pushing a healthy skepticism towards the issue. I really do. But I do need to say this. We were talking about the cell phone, and then I'll get to the keys. I looked it up while you all were talking. And what I found is, based on the reliable reporting available today, Nolan Wells' cell phone was recovered from a friend's home, not from Horn Island or from the water. The family said they located it using Life 360, and a family friend went and retrieved it. Nolan, say again.
That's not quite accurate because Tashima.
That's the family friend.
Yeah.
No, but Tashima went through Snapchat. Christine said, "Oh, I want you to go to the 360 location." Tashima said, "No, I'm going to go to that Snapchat location."
According to, I get what you're saying, but I'm just saying, according to the reliable sources right now, the thing that's consistent is they found it from Life 360. That doesn't mean that she didn't look at Snapchat as well.
I think Tashima went where Christine asked her to go, because I'm sure as the mom, I don't want to go get that phone because
no. Okay. If you listen to the video they did, oh my gosh, who was it?
Now, question, hold on, Richard. Before, is Tashima the mother of Javon
and Jalen? Yes,
she's his mother.
Right now, I got my concerns. You said, well, you're falling for all that Facebook stuff. Maybe on this, I am. I have my concerns because, it was Laura Coates, I believe, on CNN. Tashima, and she's got Javon by her side, and Christine is in the other window. Mm-hmm. She said she used 360, but I said, no, we have to go by the Snapchat location, not the 360 location. And I thought that was really weird, because they were talking about that on Facebook, trying to make comments about Tashima. I don't know. But she said she went to that Snapchat. Christine went to go to the 360 location.
But she is Javon's mother.
Yes.
Okay.
And one quick point. Why was Javon talking to TMZ? Why can't I not go back and pull up that link? Because Javon is 17, he wasn't 18. He didn't have his permission from his mother to talk to TMZ.
Yeah, he was outside when he was doing it.
So I don't hear TMZ making an apology for that. Now, I have my view on TMZ and its owner. I'll let it go.
All right. So what has not been publicly released about the cell phone is which friend's home it was recovered from, the city or street address, and I'm saying this because people are saying that they've been doxxed, who had possession of the phone, and why the phone was at that location, whether law enforcement took custody of the phone immediately after it was recovered, so on and so forth. That hasn't been publicly released, but actually has, because Crump said that he is going to listen in. I don't want to jump ahead. I'll get to that in a second. Okay. So the keys, let me see where the keys were found. Because I want to make sure.
So what stokes the fire of speculation is what the father went through with the keys. You know, getting the runaround. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Getting lied to about the keys. You know, my son is missing, and you're lying about his car keys. His car is here out front of your house. I need his keys. And see, sometimes, you know, look, I'm looking at them. I'm looking at him. I'm looking at her. I asked Stephanie today if he is the biological father, Nolan. That's hard to even find out. It's what I've read is it's just not, they're private with regard to that.
Yeah.
Because his name is Wansley and the boy's name is Wells and Christine is Wells Wansley.
Hey, I think, not I know. I think Elmore, the residence he went to was Evan's house.
Before you say that, because I don't disagree with you. Let me say this publicly though. Just like the phone, the address, and the name of the friend, according to sources, according to what's been publicized right now, mainstream, let me say mainstream public, the name, address, and the friend who had the keys was not made public.
Okay. So when Lynn asked me in that text, who are these three friends? And I sent a picture of four. So hear me out on this. I sent a picture of Eli Jax Patello, okay? Eric Alcantara, Warren Hudson. I know he's one. I know he's one. He's the main one. That's my opinion. Yeah. All right. And a Morgan Seymour. And then I didn't even put in that picture, because that wasn't my picture I got off Facebook. Well, I know what Lynn's thinking. Well, you gave me 1, 2, 3. That's 4 people. I thought you said 3 friends.
Richard, I didn't ask for the names. Jay Glass did.
Okay, yeah. Jay Glass.
Glass asked for the names of the friends. Right. I did.
So I didn't even put Wyatt's name, and Wyatt's all over this.
Right.
The picture I got off of Facebook, they were trying. So when I have to go through all those Facebook posts, I feel like I'm the lawyer. I'm the paralegal, the investigator. I got to read through everything. Black folks who can't talk right, black folks who are a little ghetto, but they make some strong points at certain times that I have to acknowledge. At least when they be in ghetto, they giving it all they got. And they ain't got a whole lot. When I look at Mr. Crump, anyway. So I move on. We don't know who these 3 friends are. And you don't know how upset I am. I can't even tell you, because I can hear one of my white friends saying, well, who are the 3 friends, Richard? You don't know who they are? Well, why not?
Yeah.
I can't tell you who the 3 boys are. I can't tell you who Katie McCormick's friends are. And
they've deleted their social media.
So when people say, well, Richard,
you know who told them to do that?
Yeah, Judge Ashley Cole.
Huh?
Judge Ashley Cole.
Or their lawyers.
Or probably both.
Maybe. Because guess what? If you are innocent, I've been in this position because I didn't do this.
Right.
I didn't lawyer up. I'm like, lawyer up for what? I didn't do it. and then they try to do a brother. So if you have those resources, which they obviously do,
Right.
shut it down. And that's the playbook.
Yeah.
That's the playbook.
And so everybody knows when me and Lynn agree on something, you know how detrimental it is to the case. They lawyered up. That's a brilliant legal move. My thing is this. Javon, you say you are really his best friend or a good friend? Because Tristan Shepard, however you say his first name, no, he ain't no friend. And I didn't need Christine Wansley to tell me that. But Javon, they asked you, was race a factor in this? You held on for 6 seconds before you said, well, no, I don't want to put it on race. Because you still live down there? Has somebody got to you? Has someone scared you? The mother white boys looking at you and they know where you live? I don't know. But I'm questioning your sincerity and your friendship to Nolan. But maybe I'm wrong. But all these friends that Nolan allegedly had, whether they're white or black, are you going to show up for the funeral?
Oh, yeah, they're going to be there. But here, Richard, also take this into consideration. Javon still has to live there.
Okay.
And people don't like discomfort. So he's not trying to say anything that's going to make his life, because Nolan gone. He's not trying to say anything that's going to make his life and his future uncomfortable.
Can I ask you a question?
That's a take that I can understand.
No, you're right. You're right. So here's my question back to you. I don't want to hear about Tyler Perry. I know you don't want to hear about Colin Kaepernick. Okay, so we'll split the waters on that. Fair enough.
No, I'm good. Listen, I'm good with, but you know who you left out?
Byron.
You left Byron Allen out. My Weather Channel dude.
Okay. All right, so you can have
look, 100,000 to the GoFundMe.
Okay, that's fine.
Come on.
So here's my question: can somebody black reach out to Katie McCormick and say, "Hey, look,
I wouldn't say can somebody black. I would simply say can somebody.
Well, you see, because black folks always want to put up and show up when they have their money. Well, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. Well, who put up the money to give Katie McCormick 24-hour protection for the next 20 years? Did you put that money up so she can tell us what happened? Did you put all that money up? What about any of those other white kids who want to say what really happened? Can you put up some 24/7 money for them to change their identity, move out the country? Can you put up some money for that? See, that's what I'm talking about.
Now, I know all y'all remember this, and this was in the South. I forget the girl's name, but remember the cheerleader that went to Bermuda and got killed? Look, by the Van Sleuth or whatever his name was.
Oh, yeah.
Remember how long that cycled?
Yeah. Man,
that was 05. I remember because I had just gotten here. And that thing was Natalie something or other.
Yeah.
Natalie something. And he did it. He killed her.
Yeah.
He got convicted?
He confessed to it. And I think he's somewhere in South America in jail now. Man,
I forgot.
I'd have to research that whole thing.
When you have so many cases, remember when I first started coming on this, Mr. Glass, I said, I can't agree on every situation when blacks interact with the police. So I look at every one individually, okay? But I was upset about Rick Chow and a few others. And the beginning of all this was the Trayvon Martin situation, which I think he should still be alive to this day. Anyway, this situation I think is so horrendous because you left him on an island. He's hanging out with Katie. He's telling you, I'm going to come back and see y'all later. See, I remember somebody on Facebook saying those boys, those three friends came back to the mainland, Mississippi, and were partying later on that night. But
they were also washing their boat. But you know what I learned? Yep. You know what I learned? That when you take your boat out into the salt water, you know what you need to do right after you get it back?
You got to
need to wipe it down.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't keep that post of them saying they were partying later that night. Because if you're partying later that night and you're such a good friend with Nolan. Well, where the hell is Nolan at? He's supposed to be
Well,
back.
you could be assuming. I could be assuming Nolan is kicking it with Katie. That's a reasonable conclusion to come to.
But
Your boy goes off with a girl, and you don't hear from him for a while. We thinking, okay,
But Christine and Elmore are saying no, he wasn't raised like that. So they would have to disagree with you on that. But listen to this.
Boys make exceptions.
Okay,
teenage boys make exceptions.
Okay, I can accept that argument. Here's my thing. You take the phone. You don't let him. Why don't you let him keep that phone? So that argument that this Tristan, oh God, can't say this man, Tristan Shepard. He said that's me arguing on that video.
Right, Tristan Shepard.
Yeah, don't jump ahead. Don't jump ahead because I want to get to that in a second. That's moving down the timeline. I want to make sure I give dates with the events because.
All right, so where we at? We on the 7th or we on the 8th?
Let me go back and make a correction because I had to go back and look it up at chess. Benjamin Crump, 7 July. 8 July, civil rights attorney Benjamin Crump talks about the body undergoing an independent autopsy. And his investigative team begins interviewing witnesses on the 8th as well. July 9th, Crump announced New York. He did his press conference. He called for a full transparency of the case, which is odd to me that a lawyer would call for transparency while an investigation is going on, but that's a whole nother story for another time. But also on the 9th, an independent forensic review is started.
Right.
July 10th, Nolan's parents. That's when Nolan's parents began to go on TV. Go ahead, Rich.
No, July 7th. The Mississippi Jefferson County started their autopsy. So if you want to say, so you just said July 10th or July 9th started another investigation.
Launched. He said he was talking about the Kaepernick.
Yeah.
The Kaepernick.
Yeah, that was the independent forensic review. But yeah, that's a good catch. On the 10th of July, that's when we had Al Sharpton and Benjamin Crump. There was a stage process, so on and so forth.
That was Good Morning America too, right?
Yes, Good Morning America, and they also appeared on the Don Lemon podcast. Yeah. Right. And then the independent autopsy had been. That's when they initially expected. That's when it was delayed because of transportation issues. So the independent autopsy hit a snag on July 10th because of transportation issues. It probably would have been completed by today or tomorrow, but because of that bump, they were not able to get there.
And we're sure independent
was that due to weather?
It just said transportation issues. It could have been the weather. I didn't look at.
Now, remember how I started this evening off? The weather been messing with my bank account too.
Yeah.
So yeah. I get that.
We're sure independent autopsy has not been done already. We're sure.
No. I'm saying that it had hit a snag.
It was delayed. The start of it was delayed due to transportation.
Yeah, because it probably would have been. We probably would have had something had it been. I don't know if it's been completed.
That's the question I'm asking you. Are you sure it's not done already?
I'm not 100% sure.
And there's no information on the internet, on Facebook, of this independent autopsy?
Oh, I'm not saying that. I'm just simply saying I don't know 100% sure just yet.
Look, we all got CYA.
Yeah. Because right now I'm trying not to give my opinion. I'm just trying to give the timeline, the factual timeline.
So Lynn,
yes,
when these two, and I'm gonna call them dual. I think about my own union situation. When these two dueling, I'm just gonna jump it. Dueling autopsies come in, and hopefully they'll make it public record so that James can put it up, and then we can just run through and say, okay, they said this, they said this. We need a third one because
I don't think you need a third one when the independent one is a third party. You need a third. You need another third party.
No, because if Jefferson County says accidental drowning, and the independent autopsy says absolutely not.
Listen, public opinion, in my opinion, is going to ride with the DC autopsy.
Yeah, but if I'm in the Mississippi and I'm in the part of that grand jury,
that's already tainted. The Mississippi one is already tainted, right?
Well,
because of the history of Mississippi.
Well, wait a minute. People are saying we have to keep an open mind.
Yes, we do. We do.
Okay. So even though I think the Mississippi one's already tainted, people in Mississippi tell me know my place, boy. And in another word too. I'm arguing with them right on Facebook right now while we're talking. So what I'm saying is, if the Mississippi good folks in Jefferson County say, hey, we believe in Stacey Turner, and we don't need nobody from outside our community with their own independent nonsense. Okay, so you have two dueling autopsy reports. So you'll need a third one that somehow the family of Nolan Xavier Wells and Jefferson County Sheriff's Office can agree. I don't know if they can come to an agreement, or if the judge will have to get involved in a grand jury indictment, or the court will have to get involved and appoint. Because if they appoint another forensic autopsy and that person's in the state of Mississippi, now look, Lynn, you already know Black America ain't going to accept it. Period.
Right. I don't think they're going to go beyond two, because if you go to a third, and imagine the third one comes to a different conclusion than the first two,
which it probably would at that time.
Now what? So if I'm Ben Crump, I just want to ride with the Kaepernick one moving forward. Okay. I don't want a tiebreaker, because the tiebreaker might not break the tie. All right. It may not break the tie in my favor.
All right, now listen to this now, because now I'm going to jump you to the very end what I was going to say. Benjamin Crump, you get on this mic to the best of your ability, and you don't tell us anything we don't already know. So Black folks are some Black people are just losing their mind. This funeral, first thing I said to myself, oh, you're having a funeral? Oh, really? Oof. Closed casket or open casket? Is the body in the casket? Yes or no? If you have a closed casket, I don't think the body's in there. If you have an open casket and I see that face and it's all battered up like Emmett Till, water didn't do that. Because this is what was reported as a fact, Mr. Medeiros. They said they identified Nolan Xavier Wells by his dental records. You couldn't.
Yeah, I had a problem with that too. Listen, if something happens to my 18-year-old, I don't need dental records to identify his body.
Then why didn't they call Christine and Elmore when they got the body and say, come on down here and take a look and see if this is your child missing?
Actually, I could just look at his stubby fingernails.
They call them. When they found that body on July 6th, this is what you said, Mr. Glass. You said July 6th at or was it Lynn? 8:56 a.m. in the morning, a park ranger found the body on July 6th.
Right. Monday
to identify that body off the dental records. Why? I thought if your body was waterlogged for 2 days, that water discolored your face that much.
All right, so here's the thing, and this is what we don't know. This is what I don't know. Who identified the body? Was it Christine?
The coroner, I thought. No, she wasn't called. Her and Elmore weren't called. I guess the coroner did. But I can't trust the coroner, because Stacey Turner said in the prior case that the Black boy committed suicide by hanging himself on the damn tree. Now I'm mad. Now I'm angry. Okay? I'm angry.
You bring up a very valid point when it comes to the casket being open and closed. Today's the 15th, and the services are supposed to be held on the 20th.
Monday the 20th.
So the investigations or the autopsies have to be finished within the next 4 or 5 days.
So they get the body down.
And yet, because they have to get the body down to Spring, Mississippi.
The autopsy at DC's done. So when Lynn said, hey, Benjamin Crump, he's using this legal strategy, he's not releasing that autopsy until the other side releases theirs. Well, the other side doesn't want to release theirs until he releases theirs, until he releases the independent. Because if that independent comes out and it's so diabolically different than the Mississippi Sheriff's Coroner's Office, they may change it. Because remember, they're already under the impression this black boy drowned. We ain't got to do all this extra. He just drowned. He can't swim. Because there's a perception that black men, and I'm one of them, can't swim.
But then,
it's on the record that he was a good swimmer.
Yes.
That's true too.
And then they said good swimmers drown. Because guess what's coming up? Malcolm Jamal Warner died July 21st of last year.
Now, this is an underlying
he drowned. He drowned.
This is an underlying tone that a lot of black folks on Facebook, and I'm gonna say a lot, is going off about the idea that whites don't believe that blacks can swim. So there was a guy that's in a video, a young black kid in Florida got left on a river, and his friend said, swim across, and he had a life vest. He said, I'm not swimming anywhere. And then a white couple picked him up.
Mm-hmm.
So these isolated incidents, at some point, they got to be at least a step cousin. It's too many.
Listen. I agree. Look, there is nothing. It is very fair for us to be skeptical of this whole scenario. Very fair, because of the history. All of us, I know me and you, Richard, have had our run-ins with law enforcement. What about you, Jay?
Of course.
Yeah.
St. Louis.
Yeah. You know, and you know what? Here's what's funny. Whenever I was cuffed, and it's been a couple times, or had a gun pointed at me, you know what I drove away without? A ticket. Yeah. How crazy is that? I was cuffed at the back of my vehicle because I didn't have a front license plate.
Oh my God.
Because I was too big for the first officer to deal with. So he cuffed me at the back of his car when the backup shows up. You know, when I get pulled over by a woman, she calls for backup.
Yep.
Because I'm a big black man. And these are things that, you know, the rest of the world, and I tell people all the time, I'm good with my size privilege. Because my size gets me out of a whole lot of, you know, stuff. Like, because I show up looking like a problem. Even with the glasses on, I show up looking like a problem. So that has, you know, on the law enforcement tip, because I remember one time in DC, I got pulled over in Chocolate City with a majority black police force. A dozen white cops showed up and were pissed off that because I was in my big S-Class Mercedes, Alpine white. Pissed off that my tags, my license, and my everything was straight. Because I heard him ask the guy twice in the thing about my paperwork. And the guy was telling him, look, he's good. He's got, you know. And I did get a ticket that night. It said accelerating through a yellow light.
Oh, wow.
Check the other box, accelerating through a yellow light.
Wow.
35 points.
Listen, the only thing I can say, I had the talk, I had the lecture, I had the sermon, and the only reason why another underlying tone with this timeline about black folks saying you can't hang with white people, because it does sound racist, but not really, coming from our perspective. When we argue, me and Lynn argue about black boys withholding their superior athletic talent from these southern schools, I want to know right now, are any of these other black boys going to continue to play for Mississippi Community Southwest College?
Absolutely.
Okay.
They are.
Okay.
Because those are all, listen, Richard, those are all individual decisions. We don't group think. We don't group. I heard someone making this point. We're the only ethnic group that don't group. Like we roll. We've been fractured. You know. So we have. If I just put it into three places, we got the poor blacks, the middle class blacks, and the seven-figure blacks.
Yeah.
Right. So we've been fractured. So that's why people can say, when we was all poor together.
Segregated.
Right. When we was all poor together, broken poor in the 50s and 40s and 30s and Jim Crow,
Good.
we had it better.
Yeah.
No, we didn't.
Okay.
We were together.
Mhm.
We were together in the same struggle. But then as we start to, make our way playing the game, because it's very. I have to explain to people: look, if I play the game, the corporate America game, and I end up with a title in a corner office, you know who don't call me a sellout? White people. I've never had a white person in my life call me a sellout. But you know who does call me a sellout? I have achieved what I'm running the race we're all running, and then I achieve, and I'm a sellout. I have a black newspaper in my house right now. The founder and editor and everything of that newspaper, the first day he met me, he looked at my card. He said, "Oh, you an executive vice president? You must have sold out."
Wow.
I'm at the black newspaper. I should be on the cover of your paper.
Hold on. Now, when you make that, hold on. When you make that argument, then you're underlying what I said from the very beginning about something doesn't look right. We don't have all the evidence, and when we look at the history of Mississippi, of all the states that can say we ain't racist, I'm sorry, Mississippi.
No, I agree with you. Listen, I agree with you. And here, to this point, when I was talking about how people wanted it to break, I believe Mr. Crump wants foul play and justice. That's what I believe. That's the outcome that he wants.
Gotcha.
So listen to this.
Okay, I see why you would say that.
Hold on. Let's suppose that his press conference this morning was totally truthful. And Jefferson County DA, however you say her name, she actually takes whatever information they have that they've gathered along with the Wells family to a grand jury. And the grand jury says indict. And somebody or some group are arrested. Do I think that means they've been killed on land because it'd be a state charge?
Right.
Do I think they would be convicted? No, I do not. If it was a tragedy of a killing before the drowning, before they threw him in the water, he's already dead, and the federal government takes over, do I think a federal court in Mississippi will convict him, a trial? No, I do not. Do I trust the FBI with Donald Trump as the head of the president and president of America? Absolutely not. But what I'm hoping is somebody who saw it will stand up and say they killed him and was race a factor. They were jealous of him. But being jealous of somebody is one thing. Being jealous of them because of all the things they can do and they're black, that's another. If somebody comes out and admits this, that he was killed, if that's what happened, if that's the truth, and the court still lets him off, lets the person or the people off, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't.
All right, so Richard, he could have been killed for the simple reason that he was up in Katie's face.
Yes.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yep.
And that's shout out to La Marie. It could be that simple. But the killers don't necessarily have to be his boys on the boat.
Yeah.
This is where I have to respect.
It could be people that was back at the island watching him holler at Katie, and his boys on the boat just take off with his phone because
now
he don't need it.
Okay, now look. Now I'm going to admit I'm off into a conspiracy. Now I'll admit because hold on, because we've been talking factual, right? And we've been doing reasonable arguments. Okay, now here's a fact: July 4th, 2026, 11:07 p.m. Christine Wansley is contacted by who? Warren. Nolan's missing, and then I'm alleging that he also contacted the Coast Guard. Okay. And it may have been he called the Coast Guard first at 11 because that's what they're saying.
Yeah.
At 11:07, because this is what she said. 11:07 p.m. Warren contacted her. Nolan's missing. She contacts the Coast Guard, I think about 11:30. And then between 12 and 12:30, she contacts the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office.
So she learned that her son was missing by one of the three friends.
I can't even tell you if Warren was one of the three on the boat, but he called her at 11:07 because she's been on TV saying this.
Mm-hmm.
That I can tell you. Okay. Because I already told you earlier, I can't tell you who the three friends are because we already agreed when they came back, shut their post down, social media, lawyered up, and Judge Ashley Cole said, well, I know, this is how I say this. Judge Ashley Cole said, well, I know my stepson didn't do it. Yeah, the same stepson that you acquired when you was the judge over a man and a woman getting a divorce, that son, that stepson that you acquired?
Nolan was Warren was the person who notified Nolan's mother of Nolan being missing at 11:07.
He's one of the three amigos. One of the three.
We don't even know.
Well, we technically don't know because
we don't know if he's one of the three people on the boat in the picture with him.
That I don't know because it does. Okay. I can't identify.
Okay. I don't know either. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah,
So,
I haven't identified them individually yet.
If people are watching the show, because our show is a little different than everybody else's, because we be fighting and arguing, but we go through it.
A process.
We go through the process. We try to give you accurate times and dates, so can't someone say that we're stupid, because I'm being called stupid on a lot of things, and you know, I guess the Confederacy can't get over the Civil War. Anyway, coming from, you know, and I guess they're related to either the three friends or they're still supporting the January 6th peaceful protesters. But I've gone off on a side note.
Oh, goodness.
All I'm simply saying is we have said it from the very beginning. We don't even know who the three white boys are. But we know they lawyered up. Okay? And we know that Judge Ashley Cole has to be who is the stepmother of Warren.
One of the three boys.
He would have to be one of the three for her to come out and defend him so quickly. But we can't even say for sure. Because I don't think she said her statement that the only thing she said her statement was, I wasn't on the island with my husband. We know that.
Well, let me speak to the island part of it. Because there is a difference between state and the federal island. If it is picked up by federal, this is why I will have faith in the federal process if it went to a federal court. The federal magistrate judge, Lakeisha Greer Isaac.
Oh, hold on. Lakeisha, and she hyphenated? Okay.
So I'm looking at the federal judges. I'm looking at the.
This is a message from Stephen Miller. That is a DEI hire. She'll be replaced. Because you can't talk all that shit. You can't talk all that shit about Stephen Miller and Trump. And now you're telling me you're going to have confidence in the federal system? I don't.
I have confidence in her until she proves otherwise.
She won't even hear it.
Richard, who is giving Donald Trump the business the most?
Black women.
Federal judges.
Black women.
Oh, federal
judges are giving him the business.
His ass out.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So if I got to choose between homegrown Mississippi law enforcement versus Lakeisha, I'm robbing Lakeisha.
But if she has a jury of Jefferson County of peers of those three white boys, they're not getting convicted unless someone says, I saw Warren Hudson knock the shit out of
well, here's what you got going for you though. You got three dudes or more, and they're kids. Guess what's eventually going to happen? Somebody going to take, you put the three of them in three different rooms. I can go in there with some Columbo and be like, one more thing, and break that whole thing wide open. If I got three of them separated, because I'm gonna tell the first one that the other two is singing and making a deal. Or I'm gonna tell the first one the first person who says something gets a deal, or whatever. So The great thing about when people conspire, and if I'm in law enforcement, I love conspirers because I know there's a weak link.
But
And once I identify that weak link,
That's
I
it.
can get the whole. I can get the whole thing.
Let me also say this. Let me also say this because I looked up the black federal judges in Mississippi. Henry.
No,
there's Henry T. Wainwright, appointed by President Ronald Reagan in '85, and a lot of the Reagan federal judges are the ones giving Trump the blues. Just wanted to throw that out there. Carlton W. Reeves, appointed by President Obama in 2010. He's well known for opinions on civil rights and constitutional issues. Deborah M. Brown, appointed by President Obama in 2013. Christy Johnson, appointed by President Trump in 2020. And then federal magistrate judge Lakeisha Greer Isaac.
But are they in Jefferson?
Who appointed her?
Are they in Jefferson County?
It doesn't
What's
say.
the federal judge that does the Jefferson County area?
Let me look it up.
No.
I hope it's Lakeisha.
But even if it is Lakeisha, that jury and look, if you say, well, Judge Ashley Cole, Mr. Brown, you say that she's already affected the potential jurors here in Jefferson County. So we're gonna go out of this county and go to the next county over.
Yeah. Crump can do that.
Yep.
Crump can have that thing moved.
Okay. Now, remember when I said, Southern Mississippi is really bad, and then James said, well, whether it's in Southern Mississippi or Northern Mississippi.
I just want to answer that question. That's the answer to your question.
And he's a Republican, Bush, Reagan.
Yep. Right. And the federal magistrate judges in Jackson are Lakeisha Isaac and Andrew
Jefferson County.
Jackson. Yeah.
Jefferson County.
Give me a second. Let me see what I typed in.
Not Jackson, not the city of Jackson. There's a lot of black folks up in Jackson. If that trial federal was held up there in Jackson, you get black folks on it, they get convicted. They would have a race war. What? I'll tell you that.
I hear you.
No, and this is why I think I'm a little frustrated. I don't trust the process because Judge Ashley Cole is so interconnected with all law enforcement in Jefferson County. And I think that's accurate. That's not us being biased. That's just telling the truth. I look at my own personal situation here in Sacramento. The judge who I was fighting with, when I went to the federal court, those judges have been promoted from the Sacramento Superior Court system. They know them.
So,
hey, is Ro Khanna in your universe up there, Richard?
Southern California.
Southern. So Jefferson County, Mississippi is in the Western Division of the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Mississippi. Federal proceedings for that division are held in Natchez, Mississippi, although filings are processed through Jackson Clerk's office. The federal district judge assigned to Natchez is David C. Bramlett, U.S. District Judge, Southern District of Mississippi. Jefferson County is one of the following counties in the Western Division. So it still they would still end up possibly covering that case, one of those judges.
Check this out. I can guarantee you, Judge Ashley Cole, I'm just thinking she knows what happened. She's trying to protect her stepson because she knows how she acquired her stepson by hustling to get her husband. Okay? Now, they probably have thought this chess piece all the way out to the very end. If it's at the state level, we win it. If it gets in the federal level, we have to somehow still win that. But you got the man in the White House backing you up. Last time I checked.
Look, he don't have time for this. Look, he got Diddy and he got R. Kelly in the queue for a party.
So when I have to disagree with Trump and I know what kind of stunt he would pull to prevent justice from happening for Nolan X Wells, so when I say, hey, he's right on this issue, but he's wrong on this issue, I'm telling you ahead of time, if he gets involved in this issue, it's a wrap. I do not trust Jefferson County and their process. Okay. Unfortunately, I don't trust Benjamin Trump either.
Well, then that's fair. I think that's fair. Right. To not trust them, but we still have to watch the process play out. That way, we can actually begin to pick apart where we are on it.
Failed He did the independent autopsy. Excellent move. You didn't download that damn phone. I can't forgive you for that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but guess what? Crump can't prosecute
Right.
the people. It'll
Right,
be
no.
the prosecutors
That's
that'll be
He can
doing
bring
that.
a charge. He can bring a civil-
Crump will be able to shine where he always shines, in the civil part of it.
Trump. Right. Okay.
So he's like, because we had the same thing with Carmelo Anthony, where you know the prosecution was again, you know, so that's what you gotta.
But
we're not on the prosecuting side of this.
I want to give me 1 second, because I want to make sure I have some form of congruency and give the July 11th through the 15th timeline, because that way we have a sequence, and then we'll go back to what we were talking about, and then we'll run through the sequence of events one last time and a continuation. That way everybody has it. So July 11th through the 13th, the friends publicly discussed a trip. A viral video believed by some viewers to show Nolan in an altercation was addressed by one of his friends, who said the yelling heard in the clip was actually his own voice. Sheriff John Ledbetter stated the public tips had significantly advanced the investigation. The family still had questions that were beginning to be raised about conflicting witness statements, reported inconsistencies involving Nolan's phone, allegedly missing Snapchat data after the phone was recovered, whether all evidence had been preserved properly. And that goes to your point as well, Richard. Because of those concerns, they requested an independent autopsy, independent forensic examination of Nolan's cell phone. And to date, again, the Benjamin Crump announced law enforcement and independent digital experts will jointly inspect Nolan's cell phone. The goal is to ensure transparency regarding claims that I took notes earlier. Some content may have been deleted or missing. The independent autopsy as of today, no official independent autopsy reported publicly. Crump said preliminary findings may be shared soon, but not verified. And the funeral proceedings, visitation, and funeral services are scheduled for Monday, July 20th in Ocean Spring, Mississippi. I'm not getting into who paid for what, because that ain't really our concern. That ain't our concern.
Paid for, I believe, the funeral.
That part.
Look, is he paying for the repass though? Because that's where it can get pricey.
Right.
You gotta feed them folks. But I hope it doesn't get
glamorized.
Racial is what I'm worried about.
But she said that they protest during the funeral to do it peacefully. I want to know if that casket is closed or open.
I agree
what's in that casket, and I want to know if you're burying it. See, I don't hear about the burial. When you do a funeral, you have the funeral, and then you have the immediate. You proceed and do the burial, and then you come back to the repast. I've done this a lot now. Okay.
Keep talking. I'm just sharing notes so people can see what the actual timeline was.
Yeah. So my thing, looks good. So my thing is, when you have to kind of tell the truth on everything, because I have racist white people trying to get at me on Facebook. I have black people saying, "Hey, good job. Can I be a Facebook friend?" And and I got ran out of my position because I was fighting for conservative whites here in California. But I look at every case for what it is, and it's tough for black folks because people say, "Can you guys allow the process to play out?" And every time we allow the process to play out, it usually plays out the same manner: a lack of justice for black people. And that's why sometimes black people get agitated and they throw their hands in their air and they start doing drugs and doing all kinds of other things. Because they feel defeated and they've lost hope. And so we see this black man, Benjamin Crump. I don't see you inspiring me. I don't see you providing me hope. If Barack Obama was representing the family, He would come out there, and by the time he's done, you would think that the 3 white boys were dead. Because he would inspire hope that justice would prevail. If Johnny Cochran came up, it'd be a wrap. It'd be a wrap. Johnny would calm me down and calm everybody down. So I'm frustrated. And I think of all these black attorneys, and Benjamin Crump is carrying the #1 status for civil rights, for bringing the heat.
He does have the best track record.
Okay.
Now that dear Johnny Cochran has exited the chat, you know, the most prominent black attorney in America for this kind of stuff is Benjamin Crump.
And that's the best we have to offer from the black community. I can't accept. I'm sorry. Look, Lynn, I can argue with you, and I want to see your ass up there representing the black community on this situation. I'm sorry.
Listen.
That's not the best. When I would see sometimes the black models in the Miss USA or Miss Universe, and I say, hold on a second, that's the dark skinned
That's
sister.
the best you got. We got girls. No,
I mean, Mr. Glass, I can go to O'Fallon Park and grab
Right.
You and look, Lynn, ask Stephanie. I can go to O'Fallon Park on Sunday and grab a whole handful.
Shake 2 trees.
That's it.
To the pitch black and
They just come falling out the tree. Yeah.
Pistols and all.
So when I see Benjamin Crump, I said, okay, he got his law degree. I don't have a law degree. Can't tell him shit. He passed the state bar. Okay, I ain't passed no state bar. So he's handling it.
But you know what else? You know what else he is? He's courageous. And that's what some of the best folks in any field, any whatever. Because when you look at the richest man in the world is missing a red nose and some shoes.
Yikes.
But he is courageous. And when you inject courage into the formula, people like, they don't even want to. Yeah, they don't even want to try to mess with him because, and I'll say that about our president. He is courageous. He is doing stuff that people are like, what? Like, who was joking? Wanda Sykes, we were watching her the other night. She said even racists was like, wait a minute. That's too much. Hold on. Hold up. But that's what he brings to the mix. He is a courageous brother, who is without, he's flawed but courage ain't one of his flaws. And he will go up against anybody, anytime, any day. And 9 times out of 10, he is the best attorney in the room.
I'm going to have to respectfully disagree on the part about him.
Because you know what, Richard? You know what a lot of black baseball players said about Jackie Robinson?
He wasn't the best.
He wasn't the best. Yeah. But, and this is where I parallel him with Obama.
Okay.
Because somebody said this the other day, I think it was Michelle, that he never popped off. Because let me tell you something. Had I been given the State of the Union and somebody stood up in that room, pointed at me and called me a liar, let me tell you, I don't see it a lot in American movies, but I see it a lot in Asian movies where the person that you just talked to gets right up to your ear and says, say it again.
Yeah.
And you just watch that person shrink. I never once saw Obama, not once in 8 years, pop off with the brother energy that he had every right to pop off with.
He got
in the face of blatant disrespect.
He got red in the face one time. They got on his nerves. I can't remember the exact time, but he got red in the face.
But did he pop off?
No.
That's all I'm saying.
No. You can't break him. Look, some black people, and
the same thing. My point is, same thing with Jackie Robinson. Right. Jackie wasn't the best baseball player, but though Branch Rickey, when he put him in that spot, he put him in there because he believed that he wouldn't pop off. And even then, he had his moments. But I would have went upside, especially the Phillies manager. When I saw 42, I was like, oh hell, but this dude's still alive? Let me go find him.
But wait.
Oh,
you make a great point. All right.
That's what Trump represents to me.
No.
He is Jackie Robinson of Black.
I don't see him nowhere near that type of thing. I don't hate Benjamin Trump, and I'm having to defend him on Facebook against racist white people, which I don't mind doing. I don't mind doing that. All right. Let's see how the funeral goes.
Right. And I remind racist white folks that they created Ben Crump.
Yep. He was a need.
You created him. Like you created HBCUs, like you created Black Lives Matter, like you created affirmative action and DEI. Those things exist because of racist white people.
He was a need. It was a necessity to have him. It was a necessity to have, just like Johnny was a necessity for OJ. Crump is a necessity for Nolan, as well as any other families that he has represented. He's a necessity. So
listen, go ahead. He didn't get justice for Trayvon.
Listen to this. All right. I ain't gonna argue with Ben Crump. If we go back to that process for a second, and Sheriff John Ledbetter says, we can't tell you the names of the three friends to protect them.
Which is weird.
Okay. We can't tell you the names of everybody on the island to protect them. Okay. Can you at least tell me that the boat captain who drove them out there, the three friends and Nolan, and then drove the three friends back, can you tell me his name? Can you tell me that you forensic the boat? Can you do that? Can you tell me something other than we're working on it? Can you? So you can't.
The answer is yes, he can. He can.
Okay, go ahead.
But will he? Will he? Is a better question.
Listen, when I'm arguing with some of these white people on Facebook, and they're like, he ain't saying nothing. Why is he? Hold on. Even black folks are saying this. Benjamin Crump, you ain't saying nothing. So other black folks say, well, he has to, protect his strategy. I understand that. I do. But at some point, you got to tell me something.
Yeah.
I mean, if you would even say, we got the phone, and as far as I know, we ain't gonna investigate that phone until we work with the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office. Because, brother, you didn't say that shit to begin with. You said we got the phone and we're gonna hire some people to investigate. That's what you said, Mr. Crump. And black folks was hanging on to your southern accent. They was hanging on. Okay, now he didn't do that shit. And
Yet.
No, wait. He is now going to work with Jefferson County to do the phone together. But that's not what he said initially. He said, we have the phone. We're going to hire our people to investigate that phone. Right. He didn't say shit about working with Jefferson County about investigating that phone. Because
but Richard, that may have been part of his strategy. Because sometimes, and I'll tell you, I do this as a salesman. I give you the appetizer, the sweetener, and then hit you with the entree.
That's why I never like gas.
And then the dessert.
Yeah, that's why I don't trust gas. So I take my eat and they want a bunch of appetizers. That's why I don't trust
because listen. I'm stealing this from somebody, but a salesman once told me, don't spill all your candy in the lobby. Don't do that.
And you know what the brother said on Facebook?
What the brother said?
A lie would jump in the car and ride with anybody.
Damn.
But the truth walks alone. But listen, he didn't say that initially about when he got that phone. Listen, even Christine Wisely was smart enough when she got that phone back from Tashima, and they was allegedly, Sheriff John Ledbetter was like, yeah, we need that phone because we don't have no evidence of Sheriff John Ledbetter saying, well, she has the phone now. We need it, and we've asked her for it. She doesn't want to turn it in. She's hindering our investigation. I didn't hear him say shit like that. And she was smart enough to not give that phone to them. You should have been downloading. You should have called some young buck.
Oh, well, listen. We already know her and her sister, because she admitted they have gone through the phone.
Yeah.
Good.
And so let me.
But now that leaves the door open for Ledbetter to say what?
Tampering.
There's stuff missing. There's information that we don't have access to. We went into the deleted files, and the deleted files were deleted. All that is now up for grabs.
Okay.
So does that would if they do that, are they potentially putting themselves in a situation like Fonnie Willis, to where they can end up jeopardizing the case?
No.
Yeah. Yes. In my opinion, yes.
Because Sheriff John Ledbetter never went on camera and said, we requested her to bring us that phone and she wouldn't do it. He never said that.
Do you have to? If it's a piece of evidence that is going to be submitted to the court, if there's information that's going to be submitted to the court, you know what? I see what you're saying.
Richard, Ledbetter is playing the no foul play angle.
Yeah.
If there's no foul play, do I need to see a phone? If somebody drowned, do I need their cell phone?
My question is, yes, you still do. Because number one, you don't know if there was no foul play. If there was
I'm saying no. But I'm saying he's going down because Crump is going down the foul play road.
Yeah.
Ledbetter is going down the accidental drowning road as the default. I believe that if he finds evidence of foul play, he will change course.
And unfortunately, a percentage of Black America does not trust him in the process because of what Judge Ashley Cole has already jumped in. Listen,
absolutely.
Now, hold on. I can't remember the Black person who did this. A Black person, African American, has filed a complaint with the Mississippi Law Board. Because I filed complaints on the lawyer I had here in California. Mm-hmm. They filed a complaint about her interfering with this case.
I saw that.
And when I was talking about the Confederacy and that post that I sent y'all and I was going off, somebody responded and said, well, hey, Richard, you failed to mention that Confederate flag that was in the background in her office. That shouldn't have been there. Because
really? She's got a flag in her office. See, this is why I wanted you. I was hoping that you would have put the post in the group chat. You put the verbiage in there, but I wanted to go to the link and see everything.
No, I sent you the Facebook post.
No, you sent me the word, but the link to the post.
Hyperlink.
To click on it and go to Facebook and read everything. I know your technology challenge.
Okay. So that first here, let me make sure I say this right.
But you got the words, which was the most important part.
Here it is. It's the very first post that she did.
Say her name real quick for me.
Judge Ashley Cole. ASHLEE. Judge Ashley Cole. Her first statement released on July 7th, 2026. Because she's saying, I'm a judge, this is what it is. And she's standing, got blonde hair. Look, now, look, I ain't gonna knock her. The white woman looks good. Yes. Let's just call it what it is now. Because that worried the shit out of me. If she had been some overweight, ugly looking white woman, hold on now. That's the kind of white woman that can be judged that Donald Trump's 1, 2.
Not his type or his type?
No. That could be his fourth future wife, I think.
Yeah, that's his type. Got it.
Hell yes.
Okay. Because he just paid a woman $5 million this week that wasn't his type. But he mistaken for being his wife.
Take the victory. I just can't do it. All right. So there's a Confederate flag in the background. 2021 or 2022, and I didn't know this, Mississippi went away from the Confederate flag. They have a new flag.
Yeah.
So what flag are you? What flag
the running back that Jay Glass was talking about impacted that.
The who?
There was a running back at Ole Miss.
Ole Miss.
Oh,
he wasn't going to run.
Okay.
So they changed the flag, and they changed the flag. Like I just saw the ESPYs, they gave out the Arthur Ashe award to somebody, And one of the things Arthur Ashe did when he played tennis in South Africa, he said, if you don't allow the blacks and the whites to sit together, I'm not going to play. And guess what? For the first time ever, black people and white people sat together to watch Arthur Ashe play tennis in South Africa. That was the power of Arthur Ashe. Courageous. That's what I'm talking about.
Wait a minute.
Because if he leaves, he ain't getting paid.
Hold on. So when you say Arthur Ashe, or Jackie Robinson, I hear you. I can't put Benjamin Crump in that category, but that's just me. Other black people will, and that's fine.
But as far as lawyers in that space go,
right,
he's at the top of the list. Okay. Now there's another dude who's right under him, Merritt. His first name is Merritt. I forget his last name.
Because there's a black man there's a black man that's doing all this commenting on Facebook. He got ran out of Mississippi. They ran him out of there. He was a judge. Yeah, he's related to Wesley Moore, in Maryland. All I'm saying is, Judge Ashley Cole, you got that Confederate flag behind you. That sends me a message how you get down. So you keep talking about the process. This is why so many black folks, 50% or is it 75% in America, don't trust the process, particularly in Mississippi, in southern Mississippi. So when I have people on this Facebook coming at me saying, "Oh, you're from California," hey, hold on a second. No, I'm from Missouri. I'm from the South, just like you. Don't run it. Don't
Midwest.
So
Missouri will never be the South.
1820, Missouri was the last state to enter the Union as a slave state. Let me move on. All right, let me move on. Facts. We move on. So we got cotton fields down in southern Missouri where slaves worked, and slaves also worked in St. Louis and Franklin County. And let me calm down.
Yeah, we got to
hold on. Listen, didn't they have slaves up north?
Yep.
Yes. So slavery doesn't make your geography so. Missouri, and I love Missouri because my wife is from Missouri.
Okay, can't argue that.
Is in the Midwest.
Yes, it's the central-most located state in America.
All right, look, I'll compromise with you. It is the southernmost Midwestern state. How about that?
So hold on, let's go back to the Confederate flag. Hold on, y'all laughing. When you count the stars on that Confederate flag, it's 13.
Right.
Missouri and Kentucky represent the 12th and 13th stars.
I'm with you on that.
All right. So when my state is on that Confederate flag and the white folks down south try to remind me about the Civil War, no, you don't got to remind me about nothing. You ain't educating me on shit. Now, I know we were part of the Confederacy. Well, half the state was, and the other half was supporting the North and whatever.
Right. And when Kansas, back in the day, when Kansas would play Missouri, they would call that the Civil War. And then they had to get away from it.
Yeah.
It was like when they changed the Red River Shootout to the Red River rivalry, between Oklahoma and Texas. That whole. Because look, I tell people all the time, Houston is not the South; it's the Southwest.
Southwest.
I ain't living in the South ever.
Okay.
Southwest.
Southwest.
That's slaves.
Yeah.
Texas had slaves, and where'd they get the idea from? Mr. Austin, when him and his family left Missouri to go to Texas. Yeah. And that's why the capital of Texas is called Austin. All because of Missouri.
Missouri City, named after Missouri. Mm-hmm. People came down from Missouri to work on the railroad down here in Texas.
Well, look, I got all these questions about Nolan. I think what hurts us is.
Before you go into that, before you go into that, because that sounds like a final thought. Oh, dang it, it's Wednesday. Around the horn. Jeez. So let's pull that. Let's do that as your around the horn. I gotta be up early again tomorrow. I'm on the phone with U of L trying to make sure that I can shake stuff out the tree. So we'll do that as your actual around the horn, Rich, and it's on you.
All right. So today is July 15th, 2026. We don't have all the evidence in on this case with Nolan X Wells that was found missing or became missing on July 4th, 2026. Nobody knows the exact time. Body discovered at 8:56 July 6th by the Rangers, the park rangers on the federal island. No one knows for sure if that first autopsy from Mississippi said he was waterlogged or if he had water in the lungs. Nobody knows for sure that I'm aware of. I haven't seen that autopsy posted. The independent autopsy is done. Has it been posted? I guess Mr. Crump is using his legal strategy. Okay. To me, everybody, including those 3 friends, should be a suspect.
Yep.
We should have some type of information where Jefferson County has investigated these people, or at least told us the name of the boat captain. There was underage drinking and drugs being used. How that just gets overlooked. So who gave these young people all this alcohol because they were under 21? No one knows. Who supplied the drugs? No one knows. But you can best believe that had been 3 black boys in Mary Sue. Every black boy within the 100-mile radius would have been arrested in the state of Mississippi. And the process would have moved along quite quickly, and you would have known every single day from Sheriff John Ledbetter that we got Richard and we got Jalen and we got Tyrone and Keyshawn, and this is what they said. We don't believe them, and we're going to indict your black asses. With that being said, July 20th, 2026, the funeral. Again, I want to know if the casket is open or closed. Is the body in the casket or not? And why not? If the casket is open and I can see his face and I don't see a whole lot of damage like Emmett Till, then I'm good. If you have a closed casket, then I don't think the body's in the casket. And now the conspiracy runs off on that. Why is the body not in that casket? Why is it closed? Well, we want to protect the family. Okay, by protecting the family, now black people are even more upset. Some black people. Finally, I end with this. Black Caucus, where you at? Now, I saw Jasmine Crockett.
Yep.
I saw what she said. She's consistent. But where you at, Black Caucus? In fact, where the good white people across America at? Where's the Democratic Party? Where you at? Where's the ACLU? Where's the good Jews of America? Because we lost some Jewish brothers and a black boy down in Mississippi. See, people keep forgetting all this nonsense. With that being said, my heart goes out to Christine and Elmore. They'll never be able to ever celebrate a July 4th ever again. Ever again. It's over. And all the older angry black people who hate the 4th of July, this didn't help. And now I'll end by saying this over Erastus Brown, my great-grand-uncle that was lynched July 10th, 1897, over an allegation of raping a white woman. Franklin County, Missouri. They tried to get him on July 5th. See, this is interesting to me. They went on the night after the 4th of July on July 5th to grab him, to lynch him. They didn't have enough horses, enough men, and the jailer fought him off. So they came back about a week later, and they got him July 10th, 1897, and lynched him. So sometimes if I come across a little overdramatic, I'm a little sensitive, I'm a little angry, I got my own situations with the court system, criminal and civil, and I sound like some of these other black folks who completely lost their mind, well, then I apologize. I just don't trust the system. And every time I have a 4th of July and I see y'all, and I said y'all, so they know I'm from the South. I see y'all, and we talk about the 4th, and we barbecuing and eating pork and whatever else we eating. But Christine and Elmore and their family, Nolan Xavier Wells, thank you for your time.
I can dig it. On you, I heard Steph in the background. So hey, Steph. I hope you're feeling better soon. But it's on you, Lynn.
All right. So we talked about many, many different outcomes. You know, when I think of this case, I think that I have an 18-year-old son. And I look at his Instagram and I see similar pictures where he the only one. And listen, this is a true story. Last summer, he told us he went to see Sinners and he left early. And I said, why'd you leave early? And it was because of his crew. He was the only black man in his crew. So they left, like 15, 20 minutes in because his crew wasn't feeling it. So they left. So when he told us that story, we're like, oh, we gonna watch Sinners. You, me, and Steph, we watching Sinners. And he loved it. He absolutely loved the movie. And I told him, I said, this is what you walked out on due to peer pressure. Because if I'd have paid for the ticket, once again, y'all can leave me at the theater. I'm watching this movie. But that's me. I'm built different. So I'm hopeful for an outcome that says this was a tragic accident. That's what I'm hopeful for. Because if it is foul play, and I put myself as the father of an 18-year-old, the reason why I want tragic accident is because I know I would be going to prison. Because I'm putting out my own justice on whoever it is that took my 18-year-old son's life. And I don't want to go to prison, but I will go for that. For somebody murdering my child. Hopefully, if I can get a good enough defense attorney, I won't go to jail even under those circumstances. It'll be justifiable homicide. But that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that in the future, because I've become more hopeful. I used to be a dude that I never believed there would be an Obama. I didn't believe he could win. And I remember when they had these whispers about Colin Powell. You know why Colin didn't run?
Why?
Wife wouldn't let him. So he had to make a choice. President of the United States or my loving wife?
Right.
And I'll tell you, he chose wisely.
Absolutely.
But Obama came up similar circumstance. And I appreciate and love the fact that he had the courage. And there are so many assassination attempts that didn't get off the ground during his presidency that we have no clue about. They could fill a book. He had the Secret Service working overtime for him and the wife and the kids because they were all black in a house that a lot of people had a problem with them living in. So my hope for my great nation is that when these things happen in the future, and they will happen, we can say, well, the immediate conclusion was, well, I don't think it was racial. We're not there yet. We're not. And I'm just thinking of a story. I got in trouble when I was at my old corporate job. I showed some movie clips that had profanity and some other stuff in them. And when the top person in the HR in my company, who was a black woman who I had a good relationship with, Carolyn Green, when she was doing her investigation, the two HR women in the room kept describing me. And you know what she kept saying? No, you're talking about Lynn Medeiros. I know it wasn't him. So we got four other suspects. And they kept saying, no, he's tall, he's light-skinned, he wears glasses, he's young, She says, no, you're talking about Lynn Medeiros. That is not the right person. And I'm on the phone with Carolyn and she's telling me this. And I'm just like, ooh, she was riding for me hard. And I had to say, Carolyn, it was me. She refused to believe it was me until I told her. This is the top HR person in the company because she called me to reprimand me. But she told me the story, how when she was doing her investigation, they kept describing me. I was the youngest. I was the tallest. I was, whatever. And I told her, I said, it was me. I did it. And I had to write a letter to everybody that was in attendance at that meeting. And that letter became a great joke in the company. But I did it. And that's what I want for this country. When stuff like this happens, we don't go to race first. We don't go to race second. Race it won't be an afterthought ever. But I want it to be afterthought adjacent. That's my wish for these wonderful United States. Because for me, this country is like family. And you already know family is dysfunction.
Mm-hmm.
As a rule. There are no perfect families, but there's some very, good family situations. But most families got some dysfunction in there. That's this country. And we have that, like Richard says all the time, racism is woven into the foundation of our country. And, of the world, I think you saw my post where 47 of the 48 World Cup teams had at least one black player. Guess who did it?
Argentina.
Guess who was one of the three countries? Guess who was one of the three countries that said slavery wasn't a big deal?
Argentina,
Israel, and our dysfunctional nation.
Yep.
You know why? Because it's woven into the fabric of our foundation.
But you asked me to trust the World Cup, and now Argentina's back in the World Cup final.
Well,
aren't they?
If you saw it today, they earned that.
Okay. Yeah.
And I was pulling for England. Imagine that. My original oppressor. I'm looking at that thing. It's 80-something minutes in. I'm like, oh, the three lines is going to do this thing. And then 2 goals in 7 minutes, over. And 75% of their goals have happened 75 minutes or later. They just built for that, They have a switch that they can turn on and off. Guess what? I would like to see them lose on Sunday. Just to make it dramatic.
So my one quick side note, not to interrupt you.
No, I'm done.
Because with the World Cup, not to get off Nolan X Wells. When you can just add time.
Yeah, extra time is nobody can explain extra time. A ref in the World Cup cannot explain extra time to you.
So here's my thing. And here I go being racial again. You have black boys playing baseball, football, and used to be, baseball, football, and basketball. But in football and basketball, you see a lot of black boys in America. We have defined rules on your black ass. This is the first quarter. I don't care how much you complain. We end in the first quarter at this time. Get your ass on that sideline. Get you some water and act like you're grateful to be in America. Get your black ass back out there and play that second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. These are the rules. And we respect the rules. We play within the rules. I'm not so sure when I compare this to the Nolan X Wells that the rules for black people when we enter the court system are the same for white people. Well, that's a pretty good idea.
They're not. Look, extra time, extra jurors, extra, extra, and we gotta really tighten up our game when we get into that system. I keep hearing people say, get on juries, make sure you're in the jury, but they don't tell people how to get on the jury. You need to tell them, register to vote. so you can be on a jury. You just can't tell folks that don't know how to get on a jury to get on one. I bet you if more black people knew how to get on there, they would get on there.
And
I believe that.
And one quick side note to show accountability within our race, those black folks that was on that South Carolina jury for Rick Child,
Mm-hmm.
I wish I had their names.
Let me go ahead and go to my around the horn.
When I'm talking to white folks, don't think I'm gonna go at my own, because y'all know I will.
Yeah,
because what's right is right. So don't talk that shit about the fucking culture. I don't hear that. I hate that word culture. That's a trigger for me. You do all that culture, Jay-Z, and all the rest of you so-called black folks, but when it's time to show up, I can't find you.
That's definitely gonna be another topic for a post.
I had to say, I'm doing all I can. I'm just frustrated.
So let me give out my around the horn. I've been taking notes almost all day. I put this in our group text not too long ago that I won't debate with people who purposely have historical amnesia. I won't debate with them.
Mm-hmm.
We can't waste our time with that. We can't waste our time with that. And I think we do a good job as a panel knowing certain points of history, being at a certain point of understanding that we can continue with the conversation. But there are people that I'm not about to have a debate with a person who purposely has amnesia about historical events. All right, if you punch me in my face 5 times, how are you going to joke or laugh at me if you jump at me the 6th time and I flinch? Of course I'm going to flinch. You've shown me 5 previous times what your behavior was. You've shown me 5 previous times that you were cruel. You've shown me 5 previous times that you intentionally hurt me. 5 times before that 6th time, you showed me that you made a conscious decision to hit me. You made a conscious decision to have some form of animosity towards me and take it out on me. And so when you jump at me the 6th time, of course I'm going to flinch. Not only am I going to flinch, but I'm probably going to get in a defensive stance and quite possibly swing at that point if I'm fed up. White America, stop asking us stupid ass questions. The reason why you motherfuckers ask us questions is because you're afraid to tell the people in your circles that they're doing racist shit. Either that or you agree with it. Take a stance on one of those two, because I at this point in our history, at this point with our technological advances, I refuse to believe that you just wake up and ask black people, why are you a victim? Fuck you. Now, I do understand in some cases, people will throw a false flag out there. So let me clarify the point that I'm talking about. In the case of Nolan Wells, I 100% agree with Lynn. I don't want this to end up in a fashion that America has taken a historical stance on. I don't want this to end up as another moment for future generations to say they could have got it right, but they didn't. I would much rather say, and and even the parents and the family, I think everybody would be so much more at peace and at ease is if for one night this comes out to be an accident and not racial issues.
Mm-hmm.
We are worn out with that. And for the persons who have assaulted a victim to ask the victim, why are you flinching? Because you're inhumane. That's your answer to that. That's why. Which leads me to my next point. You're removing your safeguards. This goes to the point of ICE and the atrocious actions that they've committed to, with a reminder that your people voted for this, because I told somebody that I was going to make sure I reminded them of that. I will remind you all of this until the cows come home. We warned you not to vote the way you did. You made a song for this motherfucker. 2 gentlemen lost their lives. Matter of 2 humans lost their lives. And the playbook for Trump and his administration starts over again. Did you all not know that there is literally in black and white a playbook to spin societies up as well as to suppress them and to starve them out? If a society begins to try to overrun the government, they know how to begin to put that down. And one of those methods is starving you. And by the way, I just want to let the American public know that. But don't remove your safeguards. There's a reason why stairwells have banisters on the side of them when you're walking up and down, right? And it's so that we don't trip when we're going up and down those steps. It mitigates the risk for hurting oneself, as it were, right? The banisters, it's something simple. It's just a rail, right? It's a safeguard. You walk, you hold it sometimes you don't. If you don't have it, what happens? You increase the probability of hurting yourself. You're killing children, America. You're removing your safeguards. Do you know what a man will resort to once he no longer has a reason not to harm somebody else? Do you know the lengths that a mother will go to and through after she has nothing else to protect? You're removing your safeguards. We're not asking you to stop killing our kids just because we love them. We're asking you because you're about to get yourselves fucked up. When you put people in a place of hopelessness, you have no more hope. Not just on one side, but on both. So y'all better start reading the art. And I'm not talking to my panelists, of course. I'm talking to regular Americans who, generally speaking, let me not even say that. I'm not going to talk about the intelligence levels because I know that'll get us to a whole nother conversation. But read The Art of War. You never put an opposing armies back against an ocean. They have nothing left to fight for. They're going to fight all out. They will fight to the last man standing. You've put their backs up against the ocean. They're not going to drown themselves. You got to kill them at that point. You ain't got no other choice. And what you've done, if you've turned a group of people who would have once been somewhat docile, or you could have negotiated with them, you've put them in a position of survival. If you've never seen how people react when they're in the position of survival, I don't recommend you get there. That's the first thing. Don't put people in a position of survival. Stop removing your guardrails, your safety rails. For the love of humanity, stop killing my babies. Because I'm gonna tell you now, there's a lot of people walking around this world right now unscathed because of 4 people: Gabrielle, Seraphine, Alanya, and James Glass III. If I didn't have my kids in my life and I had nothing else to live for, it would have been a lot of fucked up people, and I would have been okay with that. I would have taken those consequences, like Lynn was saying. Leave these kids alone. Leave people's kids alone. While you're at it and you're leaving our children alone, leave our women alone. If you have a beef with a people and you claim to be a warrior, find the warriors of that group of people and fight them. Fight them. Don't be a coward. Be courageous.
I see what you did there.
And that's my around the horn for the evening, gentlemen.
Well done, sir. Well done. Look,
Thank you.
Jay Glass, anyone ever tell you how articulate you are? How well spoken?
A little bit sometimes, but I don't really.
Messing with you. I'm not- I'm
Hey,
messing with you. Look, when Colin Powell was thinking about running, that was the #1 comment.
He's
Yep.
so articulate.
so
He's so
articulate.
well-spoken. But you know what? He don't get credit for that. Because if you
No.
know his mom and daddy, he didn't have a choice.
I really didn't.
He
But
did.
I have asked people after they've said
Oh,
that.
Jay Glass Senior was that dude?
He's
Oh,
a preacher.
Yeah, he's a preacher.
And his mama was an evangelist. So you tell me what choice did he have?
I have a choice.
He didn't have no
But-
choice.
Steph said you Martin Luther King adjacent.
I'll accept that. I'll accept that. But I have had people say, you know, people of a different persuasion, you're so articulate. My response was, what do you expect?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
hey, but wait. But Lynn,
Yes.
you have a person. Remember, I had an ex-wife. All right, look. If you have a person who has crooked teeth, and then you have another person that has good teeth, and they get married, the baby's got a fighting chance. But two crooked teeth people can't produce no baby with no good teeth. Okay, so in his case, you had two expert talkers, not just talking, just conversational. They can get in front of a congregation or an audience
Right.
and go to work. He didn't have a choice. That's why when I hear him talk, and everybody, oh, he's so impressive. I'm like, he sound like Cat.
Hey, but we gotta leave it there, good people. As always, we absolutely appreciate y'all's participation. I gotta get up early. I've knocked out another hurdle in starting classes. I've gotten my acceptance letter from the college that I'm about to be attending. So now I gotta
Go Cardinals.
Yep. I gotta start drilling down and getting Navi, you're late. Getting into the classes. So on and so forth. And what the thing that I am excited about is I was accepted as a junior.
All right.
Yeah, so that speeds my timeline up. So
Yes, absolutely.
I got something to say. I want to go off. I want to go off where I said last.
all right. So again, Navi, you came late. That's all right. I'll be posting clips to TikTok as well as the rest of our social media platforms. So thank y'all for coming out. God bless and good night.
Good night. Was it as good as